gentlemen, for those of you on Corey's channel, which he's going to post this there, this is, I would say, a brand new D&D session, but it's not. We kind of already went through a couple of other sessions off screen, technically speaking, and we are back with the party coming to a brand new city. And just so we can get this out of the way, if everyone wants to introduce themselves for the potential future audience, let's go. Fox, you first, since you're the one right next to me on the Roll20 screen.
All right. Part-time rogue, Corey. Also, I will be playing Fox McCallan, warlock and archaeologist extraordinaire.
All right, next up would be the one known as Gabriel.
Hello, I am playing the bard, social, and I specialize in social tricks and shenanigans.
And also stabbing people in the back, apparently.
I mean, come on, the backs are the most convenient place to stab people, and also the place that they're least likely to recover from.
That's fair. Alright, Sujesh.
Hi, I'm Josh. I'll be playing Sujesh, and I'm a level 3 Tabaxi sorcerer. Chaotic good, and chaos is kind of my thing. And I'm from the streets, so I'm also a little thievery, tricky, a little bit stealthy. And yeah, that's me.
Alright, Vineth.
I'm Westbrook, or just Matt. I'm playing a high elf, or a sun elf, level 3 as well, for a god of, pretty much.
Alright, and we have one other player with us, but he is currently going to be late for some personal matters. He is a level 3 Minotaur Barbarian, so yay for having someone to defend yourself and be your meat shield.
Forgot me. Yeah.
Yes, but you're not a very good meat shield.
Yes. But Silas, our illustrious druid with issues, present yourself.
Hello everyone, I'm Silas. I'm also known as Gray through the Discord. But as Silas, I'm a wood elf adventuring the world, trying to learn all its secrets and hopefully find my destiny.
Amongst other things.
And yeah, well, he's got some problems to go through.
But we shall explore those in play. Now, does anyone have any announcements to make? No, of course we don't. We're not Critical Role.
I mean, we can give a quick sum up of what we've done so far.
Ah, yes, who wants to head that up? Or are you all going to point at me metaphorically?
I can take care of it. I think I got my notes somewhere.
Alright, the illustrious archaeologist, of course, has his notes.
I do.
I'm not surprised.
Alright, so pretty much assembled the party in the city of Farreach, where we first started. I was sent there to find archaeological objects while kind of bumping into everybody else. So we kind of fell together, did some Indiana Jones stuff and solved the riddles in the tomb, found some treasure, a sarcophagus, had some experiments with fun moon lilies, PTSD flashbacks, and we also ended up being in that city when it fell. No thanks to the Count, So we currently have captured him and brought him to the city of Riverend, where my sponsor, Lady Camelot, is and rules. So she will lay down the law. And we had some interesting dreams, but we'll get to those later, I'm sure.
Oh, yes, we will. And guess who showed up? Our illustrious Minotaur Barbarian. Bum, present yourself to the audience.
Привет. My name is Kolya. Пожалуйста, прости меня for being late. Are we doing descriptions as well?
Might as well.
Alright. I am well over 7 feet tall, black skin or gray skin more, dark gray, black fur. Just a little armor and a nice kilt-like thing around my groin area, and I carry a battle axe and a shield.
Alright, so it appears the entire party is amongst us now, and so we shall begin. Where we left off, you guys had just finished a Dukes of Hazzard sort of run down the mountainside in a carriage? Close enough?
Yeah, something like that.
Prefer Mr. Toad's Wild Ride.
I wonder how many people understand that reference.
I like it.
But after Mr. Toad's Wild Ride, you all started your trek northward to the city of Riverend, the regional sort of center of governance for the foothill. And so you travel for a good few days, nothing really happening. You pass through a couple of small little towns and hamlets here and there that are small little farming communities. You wave, you say hi, you continue onward. You occasionally have to go into the trunk to knock out the Count and the Countess again and again. They probably have severe brain damage by this point, but that doesn't worry you at all. They're probably going to be executed later.
I mean, you know, they've already made all those deals with the demon for something, so they're probably fine.
I assume Sujesh will be the one knocking them out.
Oh yes, I volunteer.
I don't know if I should be concerned or not.
Well, I was just thinking I could have taken sleep and like knocked them all out that way, but no, I do like hitting their heads better.
Okay. Doesn't necessarily paint a good picture for you, but beyond that. So, there, towards your second day of travel, you begin to notice that a lot of the farms for food start changing more into wine fields or vineyards, let's say. And it's not until you crest one of the hills late one afternoon that you see just rows and rows of vineyards before the glorious, not so pristine white, but still relatively bright walls of the glorious city of Riverend. Its roofs are an amalgamation of some red, some dark black, and some light blue shingled tiled roofs, with some various coloration differences within the actual building. Some of them look to be red brick, some of them white plaster. Towards the more northern portion of the city, you see some marble mixed in there, especially in the governmental section. Of course, that has to have all the fancy stonework to make it seem much more impressive to the common folk.
Now, did we manage to get through the gate already?
No, we're actually going to backtrack just so I can give you guys the display of the full city when I'm not sleep deprived. So you guys see, there's actually a couple gates on the southern end of the city. There's one to the far right, which is also flanked by a cliff, and you can see that there's a lot of carts full of grapes being going in through there. through the center gate, and I'll ping it on the roll 20. Right about there, you see a lot of what appears to be carts full of logs going through there. And then on the far left, you just see people coming and going with various sort of establishment and buildings situated on the outside around the gate. Not enough to be considered like a town, but sort of like a little, I don't know, toll booth.
So we're probably about over here somewhere, right?
You're technically a bit further south. Like at the pace you've been going, it's still probably like half an hour to an hour's ride to the actual city. You're like on a
Ah,
hill way south. So, where are you located on the cart, and are you going to be continuing on your way, and which gate are you going to go through?
And it's been a couple days since our crazy ride down the hill.
Yes, it's been 2 days.
Okay.
And 1 second while I actually pull out the calendar. Don't worry, I literally just finished this calendar, so excuse me. You guys are currently approximately it's about 4 or 5 p.m. on the, what is that? The 14th of Infernae, the month of Infernae, which is approximately high summer, so it's hot.
Alright.
Do we know about how far away from the town we are? Like in days wise, I mean?
You're about an hour's trek. So, which gate do you want to go through? The one with the grape carts, logging carts, or the regular, seemingly entrance that people on foot are walking in and out of?
To go through the grape carts. We can say we have a delivery.
Mm.
We can get a bottle or two on the way through.
Oh, we don't need a bottle.
we do have that.
So my suggesting that we're still an hours away for that we check on our other cargo.
We didn't suggest give them another love tap.
You seem to hear stirring from the back of the ornate carriage.
Suggest you
Suggest
got
your
that?
friends are talking.
Shall I take care of them?
Yes.
Bonk and bonk.
You know what? Just for shits and giggles, roll me 2 d20s.
Oh no.
Super bonk. Critical. Critical fail bonk. Alright, keeping it strong.
I knew it.
Alright,
Okay.
so the Countess, bonk, they're out cold. You aim for the Count. Crack! You see the wrist on one of the statues in the back crack, and the hand of the statue fall off.
Wait,
Oh.
why did that happen? Those are strapped down.
That's the thing.
Well,
While they're strapped down, the hand of the statue is outstretched, almost in a sort of a cupping position. And as Sujesh was leaning across to get the count, he accidentally hit the hand, and it fell off.
that wasn't me.
Did anyone see this happen?
All right.
Everyone else make perception checks to see Sujesh fail to hit the count and hit the statue.
Oh,
Nice, Fox.
I'm sorry.
I'm okay. So this happens. I'm gonna look to see who saw me, and then and then look straight at Fox and put my finger up in like a hush.
I'll
Okay,
just.
So, Fox, are you driving the carriage, or are you like in the back?
I think I was up front when we left off.
All right, so you pretty much just like you hear it, and then you just still holding the reins. You just stop and just turn around and look over the side and just see Sujesh staring right back at you.
I feel like I do like that little lean, and he's got like the hand in his hand, and he just gives me the look like, shh. I'll just lean back and be like,
Yeah,
well, I guess it's better than nothing.
does Gabriel notice?
You don't see it, Gabriel, but you hear the crack.
All right, so I'm gonna turn around and look, and do I see Sujesh?
You see Sujesh just give the shh to Fox.
I'll sigh and go. Now, I'll sigh and go. No, listen. You damaged a valuable statue and saved a piece of trash, and he'll go and cut Conk the Count on the head.
All right, so roll me a d20, Gabriel.
Sujesh, you don't happen to have the spell mend,
26.
Okay, so now there's a bit more damage done to the statue by the gout of blood coming out of the Count's nose.
do you? That'll
You're
wash out.
ruining my art installation.
I apologize. This was not my intent.
Oh yeah, you didn't.
It's alright.
You don't know any of this.
Okay.
Sounds like a 3.
And
I just figured since Gary
And-
said something.
and Gabe will just look at Sujesh and go, now, listen, you don't appear to be built to conk people on the head, so, and thus far I've let you do it, so if you want to do it competently. And it is going to be your job to find someone to mend the statue.
Sujesh understands. I'm going to look at the statue hand and then look at the statue and try to come up with some way to put this back together.
Might I suggest a spell of some kind? There is undoubtedly someone in the town capable of such.
Yes, I will seek them out.
Okay, so with your special cargo, currently indisposed, you all continue on your way to the city of Riverend. Now,
And the thing is, and Gable's going to spend a moment to clean up any signs of blood, and I don't suppose prestidigitation will reattach the hand.
prestidigitation will not reattach the hand, however, it will get rid of all the blood.
Okay, so he will do that, and as soon as they get close enough to the gate, he is going to hop off the cart.
Oh,
And he's just going to follow behind, potentially try and hitch a ride with one of the wine merchants.
that brings up my next question. Do you guys want to go the south entrance? Well, the south entrance, the southeast entrance, or the southwest entrance?
I would think we probably want to go through residential so that we blend in, but we do have caskets. So the winery idea is not a bad idea.
I mean, we don't really have to sneak in. I have papers saying that I belong here, so.
Oh, right, I forgot about that. Then I would suggest residential.
Does it look like it matters which gate we'd go through? If we have to divvy up that way, or can we just go through any gate if we have proper documentation?
I mean, through the southeast gate, you're only seeing wine carts go in and empty carts go out. Through the south gate, you see much the same thing, but replace the not wine, grapes. Replace the grapes with logs, and through the residential gate, you're seeing like all sorts of stuff go in and out.
Probably can just go through the residential. If that's okay with everybody else.
Duh.
Whatever's quickest.
I will say this, the residential gate is the one closest to the seat of government, where all the lords and ladies are.
Good plan.
Let us take the beautiful statues I so cleverly got in the carriage. Without breaking.
Suggest is adding one statue hand to his inventory.
Hopefully it'll be removed from the inventory soon enough. Alright, so as you guys go down the road, you take the road off to the left, and then you come to another fork before you get to the gate. The right fork says residential, the left fork says governmental.
Ooh. I guess governmental, right? Because that's where we want to go.
I mean, this road sort of like curves around even more, so it's a bit more of a trek, but yeah.
Yeah, we're not in any rush. Unless our friends wake up. But
Okay, so do you guys want to go through the government gate?
Yeah, it's the quickest way to deliver our cargo.
Everyone else in agreement?
Gabriel's probably going to hop off and just go through the residential gate.
all right.
Huzzah, James Bard doing James Bard stuff. Alright, so let's start with Gabriel since it'll take everyone else a while to get to the government gate. Gabriel, when you start approaching the gate, you notice that there's a lot of what seems to be small little sort of bars and rest stop areas, as well as a couple of traders on the outside of the gate. Some of the traders are in actual like little shops sort of deal. Some of them are just having sort of market stalls out of the back of their carts. And when you get closer, you notice that there's a small patrol guarding the southwestern gate. 7 individuals, one of which is an officer, so 1 officer, 6 actual soldiers, and they just stand at attention. And what you notice is that these guys are a bit more finely dressed than the guards at Far Reach. Whereas the Far Reach guards just had like padded sort of armor that were just sort of, imagine like heavy cotton clothes. These guys actually have some like metal greaves, a breastplate. They look somewhat competent.
Fair enough. What is the what looks to be the most lively bar around, just outside of town?
I mean, there's 2 on opposite. There's 2, one on each side of the road. You can tell that they were probably set up as opposing bars, and they are both lively.
Let's see. So they both appear roughly equal.
Roughly equal, yeah. I mean, they're competitors. You do notice that one seems to have more human-centric clientele. The other seems to have more dispersed clientele.
He's going to go into the one with the more dispersed clientele.
All right. So you go into the one that's a bit more dispersed clientele. Unlike the human-centered one, which has a pretty much open front with various arches, this dispersed one actually has a door with, granted, big windows allowing you to see inside, but it's actually it has a door to it that keeps it isolated from the outside. So you walk on through, and when you enter, you are just hit with the smell of sweaty people after a hard day's work, alcohol, and other stuff.
So what would I say the quality of the music is here?
Sea shanty?
Good sea shanties or kind of ones?
Pretty good sea shanties. I mean, it's a bunch of people chanting. These are guys that just got off of their work shift, and because it's the end of the workday, they're all tired. They just want to have a good time and get drunk.
I'm going to approach the innkeeper and and see if I can ply my musical trade because I have traveled far, but but everywhere I go, I I like to stop and just provide stories, sing songs, and just provide general merriment. After a long day spent toiling for not enough pay.
Okay. For the record, you were about to meet your employer to get your pay.
We'll see.
Good to see you have trust in the system. Alright, so you approach the bar, and you notice that the bartender is an Aarakocra, a bird person, for lack of a better term. He currently has his back to the bar and is just like restocking the shelves, wiping off glasses that's needed. And that's the thing, instead of having like the wooden and metal tankards, this bar actually has glassware.
Interesting. I can't quite say I expected that, but I'm going to repeat my offer and see if he's open to giving me a shot.
As you start speaking, like the body of the Aarakocra doesn't turn around, but his head does a complete 180 and addresses you. Yes, sir. What was that?
I, 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 I'm a displaced bard. I'm a displaced bard looking to, looking to find a room for the night and potentially provide some entertainment. Would you be open to giving me a shot?
Certainly, sir. The room for the night would be 1 silver per person per night. So, assuming it's just you, just 1 silver for the night. As for entertainment, we can give you access to the stage over there, assuming you can brush those brutes off of it. And, of course, for usage of this venue, the establishment will take a 25% cut.
See, seems reasonable.
Very well, sir. And without turning his head back around, he grabs a key from a drawer and just now he turns around, but his head still keeps focused on you until his body is turned around fully to address you, and places the key down on the counter. That would be 1 silver for the room.
All right.
I assume you give him the silver.
Yep.
He takes the silver, puts it like in another drawer that seems like a cash register almost, and tallies something off on a little ledger. Very well, sir. Now you have free access to the venue. I would help you remove those ruffians. However, I must attend to the other guests, so if you will excuse me.
All right. So Gabriel's going to take an assessing look at the ruffians and just like so what exactly are they?
The particular bunch on the stage is joshing around and doing a huge chant. They are all lumberjacks. Big, beefy lumberjacks. 2 of the 5 are half-orcs, one of them's a human, one's a dwarf, and the last one is a gnome.
Beefy gnome.
Hey, gnomes can be beefy, man.
All right, I'm going to stealthily cast. I'm just going to stealthily cast unearthly cores and and instead of drawing attention away from them, kind of basically support them.
All right. So are you going to join up there with their sea shanty?
I am,
All right. Make a performance roll.
and I do so at advantage because that's what unearthly chorus does. It's
Yep.
such a bard spell.
Yes, it is. Oh, Sujesh makes a great point. If you try to inspire your team during combat, I expect you to sing a shanty for them.
Okay, so we're going with the 20.
Yes, you're going with the 20, and are you putting down a hat or something to receive your money?
I am.
Alright, so you place that down, and once you start singing, the other guys at first are like wondering, what is this prick doing here? Until you start singing along with them, and they hear the background music that is suddenly there, and they just get right into it. Like the dwarf pulls you down on one end, is like hanging on your shoulder, the human is hanging on your other shoulder, and then the half orc comes over and like picks up the dwarf, so the dwarf's hanging between you and the half orc. And you're all just having a merry good time.
And so yeah, I'm basically singing and playing the violin, and unearthly chorus means that I sound real good.
Yes, it does. We will get back to how much you make, but everyone else, you have finally reached the government gate. And whereas Gabriel encountered just like a small squad guarding the gate, you guys encounter an entire platoon.
Sujesh is a little nervous about approaching these men.
Granted, they're not all like huddled together. What you do notice is that when you guys approach, there's two horse riders that come out to greet you. I'll describe what you see further down the line. And that's the thing, the gate for the government is at the top of a sort of hill, since the governmental section was built on top of a plateau. There's a numerous switchbacks, each with like a small squad of 3 or 4 men just having a... And that's... Okay, the best way to describe it is that the bend of each switchback, actually dug into the side of the mountain, is sort of like a little watchtower sort of deal. Basically just a window with a telescope to look out over the area. And there's like 3 or 4 people for each of those little switchbacks. And at the bottom is a group of about 10 horsemen that just occasionally go out and patrol. And as you approach, 2 horsemen come up and just gallop up to you and just go, "Halt! What is your business here?"
I'll pull out my writ and be like, "Evening, gentlemen. I have business with Lady Camelot," and then I'll hand them the writ and be like, "I'd like to discuss some findings with her."
The lead horseman, who, as you get closer, you see the marking on his armor denotes him as a first lieutenant, and the other horseman is a second lieutenant. Yes, I am using modern military rankings because they are easier.
That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll hand my document to the guy in charge.
Yep, he'll saddle up right alongside you, take a look at it, and then just look over the rest of you guys, notably the Minotaur cramped in the back of the carriage.
I smile and wave.
Now, since I'm from here, would any of them know me? Or do I not travel through this gate very often?
You would not normally travel through this gate. Most of your stuff, you would come out of one of the northern gates at the other residential section.
Gotcha.
But yeah, he takes a look at the writ and then hands it back to you after properly rolling it back up. He's like, "All right, we will escort you to the bottom of the switchbacks, and then you shall be on your way. If you have any cargo in the back, make sure that it's properly secure so that it doesn't fall off on the ascent."
It is quite secure. I wink at Sujesh.
I wink back.
Beautiful.
The guard looks at Collier and he's like, "What? What do you mean by secure? Is it properly tied down, or what exactly do you mean?"
Oh, it is. Everything is in its place, where it should be.
Yes,
Make a
yes.
deception check.
Oh boy.
With pleasure.
Here's the thing though, Kolya technically isn't lying.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, see, Koya played Tetris to get everything into the back of this. He's not lying.
I'm very proud of myself.
Thank you, Corey, so that the rest of the audience can see the screen so they can understand my consternation.
Yes. Nat 20.
Not 20.
I like
Alright,
how
so
your
the-
mod's 0 too.
Yeah.
So the guard just nods and is like, "Very well. Must be." And then as he turns around, he'll turn to you, Fox, and he's like, "That Minotaur must be a surprisingly efficient packer."
Oh, you have no idea.
And he'll just start escorting you guys to the bottom of the switchbacks. And as you guys make your way up the switchbacks, you'll occasionally come across one of the guards who just comes out to watch you guys. But he's not really watching you guys closely. He'll just wave his hand. He'll just lift his hand as in a sort of like salute, like, "Hey." And you just keep going on up.
That we do.
And you eventually reach the gate at the top of the plateau, which, if you got it this far, the people out there figured, you're clear to go. So these guys that are up here, which are still fairly well armored, and actually at the gate at the top, there's about good 10 soldiers, 5 on each side. You see a couple of them are doing like a small game of poker, but most of them are fairly vigilant. You gotta pass the time somehow. And as you enter, you are greeted to the side of numerous multi-storied marble buildings.
Would I know which one Lady Camelot would be in?
Yes, you would, because viewing down the main road, you see the giant circular-looking building that is actually situated in the bend in the river. That is where the and that's the thing. That's not where just Lady Camelot lives. That's also where the various Council of Counts live whenever they're here, as well as the various other politicians and such.
Alrighty. I guess we'll head there.
Like, the way it's set up is that the main building is about 3 stories worth, just above there, and on the roof at the very forefront is another sort of 2 stories of a smaller building. That would be Lady Camelot's house, approximately 4 to 5 stories up, so she can survey most of the city itself. Now, the circular part within the semicircle, I guess you could say, is a large tower that extends even further up into the sky.
Do I know what that building's for?
Make a history check.
I might actually be good at that. Yep, 21.
Yeah, you're fine.
Nice.
It's the Resident Wizard's Tower.
Ah,
What it actually is basically the top few floors are the place where the resident government wizards, and when I mean government wizards, I mean wizards that are employed by the government, do most of their research and development for government means. The reason they do it up high is so that in case anything happens, it's secluded.
Alrighty, cool.
Basically, they don't want it exploding and killing everyone. That's happened once when you were here.
Good times. Good times.
Like the entire top 3 flat towers levels exploded.
Is it obvious that it's a wizard's tower?
I mean, not really. It just looks like a normal tower. Granted, fairly high up there, like 10 stories above the building that surrounds it, so about 14 to 15 stories high. Fairly tall, but it could just be another tower. Granted, there aren't that many tower structures within this nation. Most tower structures occur in various other exotic cultures.
Is Fox by any chance giving us the grand tour and pointing all this out?
I'd mention it, yeah, as we're approaching, because I'm sure you guys would be curious.
Interesting. I would very much like to visit the wizard's tower.
Perhaps we can stop in. Maybe they'll be able to, or maybe they'll have some insight on this book.
I also seek insight.
Yeah, no kidding. This tower is massive.
And we do still have a statue to fix.
You're not there.
Yes, and also most of the team does not know this.
I'll look at you, Suggestion. I'll give a wink. I'll be like, you know what I'm talking about.
I'll do the nod.
So I assume you guys continue down the main thoroughfare towards the large governmental building?
Yeah, I think we'll take a quick stop at the tower and see if anybody can help us with that reattaching of statue hands.
Well, in order to get to the tower, which is that thing I just pinged, you kind of have to go through the rest of the building.
Yeah.
And make an animal handling check, because are you the one driving the cart?
I suppose I am, unfortunately.
The reason I say this is that the best way I can describe the government section, New York City.
Crowded. Well, hopefully this doesn't go as bad as last time. How's a 10 look?
Man, these horses are not used to the city.
That's okay.
These horses,
You're
they
also
feel
not
like
really
what I
good-
feel.
You're also not really good at driving.
No, I don't like city traffic.
You don't run anyone over, thankfully. But you do get a lot of times where the horses will stop, whinny, and then a guy will come out and is like, "Hey, I'm walking here."
Just be like, pedestrian versus horse carriage. Horse carriage always wins. I'll think that to myself, though. I won't say that out loud.
I was going to say, do you want to say that out loud?
He saves his carriage rage for internal monologue.
Carriage rage.
Here we have the first recorded instance of fantasy road rage, people. Or would that be highway bandits?
Depends on your tastes.
Alright. And as you approach the central, and as you get closer, sorry, I forgot to tell you, but it is a combination of the executive, legislative, and judicial buildings. Like the primary ones for the region. Most of the rest of the government sector, the reason they call it government is that it's effectively like the high society sector. It's like, not only is it like governmental buildings, it also has various homes and stores for the wealthier clientele.
Suggestion's favorite.
Yes, Sujesh looks intrigued, but perhaps a little displeased. And if anyone is nearby enough to hear him whispering, he's talking about how this is spawning corruption and just kind of very sour about the whole display of power.
Very well. And as you approach the primary center, you'll notice that there's another gate around it, as well as more guards. These ones even more heavily armored. Granted, these ones are actual knights. One of them will put his gauntleted hand up and be like, "Halt! Do you have business here?"
I will head to my writ and be like, I seek an audience with Lady Camelot. There's much we need to discuss.
You'll take a look at the writ, nod. All right. What luggage do you have to declare?
Luggage, right. I'll kind of like look over my shoulder, or look back, and be like, a couple statues. I believe it is 5 kegs of alcohol, and
Duh.
some passengers. And then I'll count everybody: Sujesh, Kolya, and Silas, and Vineth, and be like,
Well,
yeah.
It was 5 barrels, but Koya drank all the Blue Moon. Along with
That's
Silas.
right.
And Gabriel definitely helped.
Yeah, so it's like the Blue Moon and it's all gone. By the way, we are not sponsored by Blue Moon. This is just the way I describe alcohol.
Everybody knows I don't have any sponsors. It's fine.
I mean, I didn't want to bring that up, but okay. So, yeah, you guys only have 4 barrels of alcohol now.
I'll correct myself. Oh, sorry, sir. 4. We may have drank one on the way.
Sorry.
He was about to give you a critical look until he looks around, sees the Minotaur, and just has the face of like, oh.
He gets thirsty sometimes.
He just looks over at one of the other knights nearby, which, Koya, you look over, you see another Minotaur in like full plate.
Ah.
And it's like the entire head is encased in its own helmet, and you can't see the eyes through the eye slits.
Oh, magnificent work on that armor. Privyet, brother.
Does not even budge.
Is it bad that I picture him kind of like a dog, like with his face up against the glass?
Well, there's no glass in the carriage windows. It's only like a small screen, but I imagine
I
that
figure
would
it.
quite-
Yeah, I figure I have to keep my head out of the carriage for my horns anyways.
That's actually pretty accurate.
Does this
Yeah,
have a,
you're pretty
does
much
this
like
thing have a sunroof so Collie can sit up straight?
Yes.
I mean, it's not built in, but he can make a sunroof.
I probably did.
Yeah, so you
It's
effectively
alright. Nobody responded to me at home either. I'm used to it.
You have a Minotaur's head for a little dorsal turret. So he'll be like, guest, are they the ones in the back or are there any more?
Just these.
Deception check.
Come on, boy.
20.
Nice.
He'll
Beautiful.
nod. And what luggage precisely? You said you had alcohol. Is there anything else?
The statues as well.
Statues, right. And you'll see he'll nod off into the cabin and you hear faintly some scribbling before he steps aside and opens the gate. He's like, very well, you can make your way through.
All right. I guess we'll head on in.
All right. And Gabriel, by this time, which has been about an hour or so, you've made approximately 37 silver.
Okay. Let's see. I will then basically divide that into two piles, and 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 how friendly have how friendly have the other people on stage gotten with me?
They've been buying you drinks, and they've been inviting you to games like Bury the Axe, which is like axe throwing into the wall, and you have to hit the target blade in, and not like any other angle, or the axe will pop out. And also that one game where you splay out your fingers on a table, and they take a knife and try to go as fast as they can.
Huh.
It's lumberjacky stuff and tests of courage.
These sound like some hardcore lumberjacks.
All right. Well, he's going to discreetly divide the pile of silver into two piles of 19 and 18. He'll keep the 19, and he will and he will and he will buy and he'll spend the 9 to buy his new friend some drinks, and then he'll give 9 to the barkeep.
Okay. The barkeep will look quizzically and be like, okay. And then he'll make sure that the drinks are ready for the other individuals. And what will you be doing with the rest of the money? Are you going to go to sleep?
Nah, not quite yet. He's going to be he's going to be using the opportunity to, since he's ingratiated himself, to just start collecting stories about sort of what's happening around here.
Ah, intelligence gathering.
Yup.
00 Bard, Information Gathering 101.
Alright, so what you basically hear is that in the slums across the river, there's been like a bit of unrest, but it's the slums. There's always some form of unrest. Recently, there's been a string of murders happening. Some of those murders have actually crossed over into the rest of the city proper. Outside of that, there's been trouble with some of the vineyards, especially in the west portion of the city, while in the northwest there's been some spooky things going on in the woods, but that wasn't these guys' problem. These guys work in the southern woods, so they don't have to worry too much.
And in trade, he's going to be, discreetly throwing in mentions of let's see, the previous city was Farreach or something.
Correct. Far Reach.
Okay, so and he's going to be starting to circulate stories about all of the goings on in Farreach, with and he'll only edit them so far as to exclude himself.
Ah, yes. Editing yourself out from the page. Definitely sounds like something some form of government agency would do.
However, are there any other minotaurs in the bar?
Nope.
Okay, and he's also going to compose a spontaneous song to. He's also going to compose a spontaneous song for Kolya, the. Yeah, and only slightly make up stories about how he faced down the unholy, the profane, and worst of all, government officials, and never once did he run.
The unholy, the lecherous, and the government officials.
Are they all the same thing, though?
This is where Kolya becomes a legend.
Starts in a tavern.
Yeah. Meanwhile, he's got his head stuck out of the carriage like
Like a little
a
dog.
16-year-old girl at Hollywood. I don't know.
It's like, he's like, behold Kolya, woe to the taxman. Pan over to Kolya, just head outside the carriage, just like smiling at everything.
Yeah. Look at all the people walking around.
By the way, that is an interesting thing. Kolya, you've seen more people here than your entire tribe, like 100 times over. There's people everywhere.
It's amazing. What are they all doing?
And one thing, actually make a perception check real quick, Kolya.
Oh, I would love to. Not bad. 17.
What you notice is like, and this is surprising, aside from a few buildings that seem off kilter, all the streets seem perfectly evenly spaced and like in almost near perfect angles, except for some streets that need to be off kilter to go to certain areas. But everything seems to be nice, neat, orderly. And there's just so many cool things. For example, you see gutters and plumbing. There's a hand mechanism that is taking water from somewhere and depositing clean water into some waiting vessels held by people.
Amazing. Sir Fox, you live here?
Not here specifically. In town, yes, but this part's a little outside of my price range.
Ah.
Fair enough.
This-
And Gabriel's also going to be composing a song about Silas, the man whose stealth and skill with the blade is so great that the heavens themselves that he once faced down a whole division of brigands, and the heavens themselves sent down fire to aid him.
Nice.
Okay, so are you going to compose a song for any of the other people, just so I can keep a tally?
No, no, but he's not going to be composing a song to anyone's. However, he is going to be circulating the story about about how those two and Fox, who is a brave archaeologist in love with a government official, and is the technical lead.
I don't know what happened, but I'm very happy.
Don't get too excited. That could be bad for us.
I know.
And
At least you're the one rolling the nat ones now.
It's Gabe's music and stories. It's just too much.
Gabriel, by doing all that music and stuff, ended up passing on his curse of rolling constant ones to the DM.
and especially the story, he's basically going to start circulating that that he's kind of telling the story here first, and be sure to circulate them far and wide. the ballads of Kolya and Silas and the tragedy of Fox. When will he learn? Relationships with government officials never work out.
Oh.
And he's going to start circling the story out. He's going to start circling the story in Far Reach, trying to both establish himself as an authority, and he's going to just exclude he's just going to exclude every mention of himself.
What I need you to do is roll 3 performance checks real quick.
I'm scared.
Okay, seeing as how I think Unearthly Course is still up, will I get these with advantage?
Yes, you will. Go ahead and try rolling from your actual character sheet and see if it's any better.
No, it's cursed.
No. You passed on the curse.
That's right.
Look, I rolled 2 natural ones right after the other.
As long as the DM rolls nat ones, I think we'll be okay. Because technically we can't do any worse.
Right. There we go.
Well,
except for me, I have a -1 to perception. So,
Okay, so we'll be going with the 20 for the song about Kolya.
nice.
Now for the song about Silas.
Okay, and that's going to be 15 for the one about Silas.
Last one for Fox.
That one's still flirting with you, Gabe, man.
I know, that's why I refuse to roll it on my character sheet.
Oh, yeah.
I like how it's labeled as the tragedy of Fox.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll be going with the 25 there.
Alright, so as you finish reciting your stories to the tavern, you notice a few people are actually writing down what you say, and as you say, go and spread the word, half the bar, poof, gone. Oh god.
Okay, and did everyone at least appear amused and enraptured as I was singing the songs and telling the stories?
Oh no, they were enwrapped. Some people are actually upset now because they forgot to drink their beer and there's alcohol.
And probably the bartender.
So we're gonna leave you where you are right now, Gabriel?
Well, if the gods weren't interested, they sure will be now.
Gabriel's gonna play hard to get and then just rise to godhood. It's just everyone's gonna start worshiping him.
James Bard's true plan revealed.
Dun dun dun.
Well, I mean, it's one of those things where it's like where I had to make up a new alphabet because I ran out of letters for my plans.
Alright, so we return to everyone else pulling out into the courtyard. And, yeah, there's a big giant building in front of you. So, what do you want to take into the building? And... go.
Kolya is just doing that tourist thing to the wizard's tower. He's just like leaning all the way up, trying to see the top from down on the street.
Alright, I'll look at Kolya and be like, "Do you mind helping me with this?" And I'll point to the statue with the broken hands.
Duh. He's still looking up. Yeah, duh.
Mr. DM, could I make one slight edit to Collier's thing, because he would totally make Collier's song a sea shanty of war, because after these people seem to like, just to make sure it spreads even further.
Spasibo.
Yeah, sure, we can do that.
You sound so enthused.
So, Kolya, you help Fox with the the broken statue. Sujesh, I assume you're going to go with him since you have the broken hand item in your inventory.
Yes, I'll look to Silas and Beneath and say, "Are you okay with the cart while we take care of this?"
I guess someone has to watch the Count and Countess.
Do not so loud.
Pretty good with horses, so yeah.
If our friends start making a racket, be sure to discreetly shush them.
Of course.
Any more discreetness and they might not wake up.
I can just paralyze them.
Oh, that was cool. Wait, does Kolya notice the broken hand?
Make a perception check.
I think I
we're
will
good with
give
this.
myself disadvantage because I'm so enraptured by everything I'm seeing. If that's alright.
That's fine.
Awesome.
I told you.
You know, it was a low DC, but somehow you scored even lower.
0.
You are still looking up the tower as you literally grab onto the broken hand. And
This is amazing. How do they build it so high? It's like a mountain.
that's the thing, Sujesh, Fox, you see him grab onto the broken hand and not care.
I'll shrug and start leading the way, as though I belonged here.
I would probably also just like look at him, look down at the hand, look at him, look down, and just be like, "Hey."
Not worth it.
We're gonna have this hand glued back on before he realizes anything happened.
Yep.
So I walk towards the tower.
Alright, to carry it, make a strength check, Kolya.
Oof. 8. Oh wait, technically 11. 11.
Okay, so you
Oh.
don't drop it.
Good. I'm a little distracted.
A little is putting it mildly.
All right.
Don't worry, Gabriel. I am noting.
Is there anybody at the tower at like a reception desk or anything like that who can point us towards somebody who can help us?
No, there's no reception desk. It's like in the center of the circular tower, there seems to be like a little elevator thing, primarily used for ferrying cargo up and down, and a long spiral staircase.
Kolya just starts walking up the staircase, or at least heading towards it.
Kolya, there's a
Hmm?
an elevator over here, and I'll point towards the.
What is that?
Just come along. You'll see.
All right.
So you all get on the elevator?
Yes.
The only reason I'm saying this is because Fox, you know what it is. And right next to one of the there's like a little box that comes up, and there's actually like a little circular dial thing with various numbers on it, 1 through 14 specifically.
Would I happen to know where would the best to go for statue repairs?
Nope.
All right, I'll just pick a random number then.
All right, roll 1d14.
Please roll a 1.
12.
12. All right, you just put the number on 12, and all of a sudden there's a and Kolya, the platform you're on, just starts magically moving upward.
Is it like open? Can you like walk to the edge?
Oh yeah, no, it's open. You're actually watching
Oh.
the spiral staircase around you. Whatchamacallit, move.
This is quite amazing. How do you not all get fat from not walking everywhere?
I will say this: you do realize, Fox, that this is like magical elevators like this, highly expensive. The only other quote elevators are the crane-like ones that you see industrial places use, and that's because industrial stuff.
I'll look at Kolya and be like, try not to get too excited. We don't want to break anything.
Oh, nah. Especially not the statue.
Yes, not the statue.
Still not looking.
Okay, so what is the game plan here? Who are we going to see, Fox? Do you know?
Not too sure which the best floor was, so I just picked one.
What, like at random?
I'm sure somebody will point us in the right direction.
I like that tactic, actually.
Of course you would. So you guys get to the 12th floor, and there's actually a ding as you reach the floor.
Do I?
And right in front of you, there's a heavy steel door.
Is there any way to open it?
Yeah, there's a door handle. There's also a doorbell.
I will hit the doorbell.
Bring. Nothing.
Can I search it for any magical properties? The door, or any wording?
Certainly. Certainly.
Fantastic.
I know it's already a show somewhere, but we should be called Net One. That should just be the show.
No, it just looks like a regular steel door. Actually, there is some magic to it.
Should be called
There's
All or Nothing.
There
So,
seems to
you
be
go first.
some explosion magic on the door.
Oh. As he's looking, Kolya walks up and starts banging on the door.
I will stop him from doing that. You do not want to disturb the door. I believe it might be dangerous.
The door, well,
Yes.
I suppose if floors can move by themselves, doors can be dangerous too here. This is a strange place.
I'll look at Sujesh and Kolya and be like, how do I put this? This place is more dangerous than you'd think. I mean, a couple years back they accidentally blew up 3 floors, so let's just be cautious.
Fox,
Oh.
make a perception check. Actually, all 3 of you make perception checks.
With pleasure.
Wow.
Wow.
4. The guy.
18.
Well, that makes sense. Jujesh and Kolya, you're close to the door. You hear a soft pitter-pattering from behind the door. And then you hear, almost like an intercom, someone go, "Yes, what is it?"
Oh. Who are you?
I'm
We have a
Raji.
statue. Raji?
You have a
Yeah,
statue. What?
yeah,
What?
yes.
Why are you bringing a statue to me? Why are you bringing a statue to me?
Rizzy, we would require help with the statue. We believe it might be important and need some help with it.
Okay, so what do you need me to do with the statue? Do you need me to look at it with magic? If you have someone magical there, I can send someone magic there. You can just look at it for yourself.
Well, we just need a hand. Just can you give us a hand?
My name is Kolya.
And the door opens, and as the door opens, you see before you a tiny, skinny kobold.
Have I ever seen kobolds before?
The kobolds you have seen, Kolya, are very violent tribal animals that, while smaller than you guys, they attack in packs of anywhere between 20 to one kobold war party you once saw extended beyond 200 members.
Ugh.
And here's one right before you, small one with spectacles on, just having that opened the door, saw the big legs, and then slowly tilted his head up past Sujesh and just is staring at you now, Kolya.
I don't think this was a good idea. I take a step back.
The minute you move, the little kobold just screams, "Ah!" Slams the door shut.
Whew. Good thing there's only one.
I'll turn to Fox and say he would not give us a hand.
I'll do like that kind of pinch the bridge of my nose and be like, "Hey, excuse me, sir. We just need help. We're looking for somebody who may be able to mend the stone. We mean you no harm."
Take the monster away!
Oh, he's a harmless, trust me.
His kind killed my family!
Okay, perhaps we should go. And I'll turn to Koya and say, Koya, what if you put the statue down and maybe join me on a different floor? Maybe the first floor?
And here's where you notice someone coming up from the floor below. This one is a very pale sort of complexioned elf with long flowing silver hair going behind them and bright piercing steel blue eyes. Male, and standing roughly about 6'2", just slowly approaching from below going, "Yes, may I help you, gentlemen?"
Like he's floating up, or?
No, he's walking from the floor below along the spiral staircase.
Ah.
Perhaps you
You
can
have
join us.
kobolds. Is there an infestation, or is it just one?
Koya, you can't say such things.
Why?
Oh no, don't worry, third one, it is quite alright. It is not an infestation, he is actually my apprentice. I've rescued him after his clan was devastated by others of your kind.
Yes, we do fight a lot.
I rescued him as a
Apprentice.
child, so he wasn't given any chance to inherit the barbaric tendencies of his people. Instead, he has lived most of his life here in the tower. In fact, his entire social life has been simply with me and the other mages here.
I am not sure if that is good or bad. I will have to think on this.
So, gentlemen, is there something that you wish for me to research, possibly? Anything?
We have a statue. I kind of lift it up.
It's kind of hard to lift up because it's like human size, which means, and it's also made of marble, so it's heavy.
I just do that kind of like lift the front half to show.
Yes, and I see it's partially broken. Is that
What?
that you have come to?
I didn't break it.
He will just stare at Kolya and then back at Fox and Sujesh.
I'll try to slyly take the hand and put it on the floor, and then
Okay, so Kolya, make a perception check. Sujesh, make a sleight of hand check.
Oh, I'm excited to see how this goes.
Oh,
Whoa,
What?
dude! 17.
So Sujesh, you're leaning down to place it on the ground, and Kolya, you lock eyes with him as he leans down.
How?
it was an accident, my friend. It happened when you got startled by the kobold.
What? I moved very slowly.
I apologize. This is clearly my fault, and I will take full ownership of this action. I apologize. Perhaps this man can help fix the statue.
I'm sorry, Sir Fox. I should have been more careful. It's not your fault, Sujesh. Sometimes I get clumsy.
it's all right. Perhaps our friend here could know of somebody who can mend this for us.
Yes, well, please come inside. And he walks up and opens the door. And as he opens the door, you see Raji the kobold just holding a stick right at you people. Everyone make perception checks.
There we go. That one, which makes 0.
Sujesh. He's just holding a stick. Fox. He could be holding a stick, but it's a magic place, so it could also be a wand. You don't know? Kolya. He's holding what the shamans have feared for your people. Something called a boomstick. Something so dangerous that it will fling fire and death from its tip should the wielder wish it.
Stay back, Kobold! I tried to position myself between me and the statue. No more harm will come to Sir Fox's statue. And I close my eyes, bracing for impact.
And Sujesh, you notice that the kobold is like shaking violently, like eyes wide in terror. Stay back! Stay back!
Calm down.
Be a best shot, Kobold.
Calm down, both of you. You are not at war here. We are all friends here, all of us.
And you see the for lack of a better term, snow elf just wave his hand, and the kobold on the spot just passes out.
I don't know if that was entirely necessary, but
Oh, don't worry, he's used to it. I've had to do it a couple of times.
I really wish I knew that spell.
Oh, it's a very useful spell. I can tell you're a magic caster. Perhaps I could teach it to you sometime, or in your travels you may learn it yourself. But I do not see any books on you, so I do not believe that you are a wizard.
Oh, no. I kind of just will my magic into existence.
Intriguing. I may have to discuss with you sometime about how that works. As for you, sir, you do not seem to possess any books yourself, yet I sense magic. I assume that you are not a typical mage as well.
you could say that.
The other one? Yes. And as that, he'll just be like, bring the statue in here. Oh, and the hand as well. I will need both parts in order to fix it.
Spasibo. I drag it in.
And I'll hand it over.
Ho-ho!
Please stop with the puns. Alright. And as you guys bring it in, you'll cast the mending spell and put the hand back on the statue.
That is amazing.
Now, down back in the courtyard, Silas, Vineth. There's stirring happening in the back of the carriage.
My shield and just hit them again.
I sort of like stand in front of him to make it look like nothing's really happening. And we're just sort of investigating our cargo.
Both of you make deception checks.
Nice.
Nothing to see here, officer.
All right.
Okay. Vineth, you don't really hide your movements well. You just rear your arm with the shield back and just shang, shang. Silas, you make it seem like you're just talking to Vineth as he goes to work. Anything else you guys want to do?
It's the brain damage.
Shit.
Silas, make perception checks.
I was picturing that Archer episode where he's like, "Oh, I was unconscious for an hour. Whoa, you need a CAT scan. Like, that's really bad."
Alright, Vineth, as you get done knocking them out again, you look up and you see Lady Camelot approaching with 2 guards in tow. Silas, you see the same thing. Well, you see a woman with 2 guards in tow.
I like tap Silas. I tap Vineth on his shoulder and be like, "Hey, someone's coming."
Cover the bodies with whatever I can find in the back of the cart, and then just like jump out and stand next to the cart as if nothing's happened. Look very nonchalant.
Hope you're using your previous deception rolls. And as Lady Camelot approaches, and now you can see it's Lady Camelot, Silas, she'll be like, if it isn't the Elven brothers, or brothers, and she'll put quotation marks. So, where's Fox? Party.
Bow
I assume they would be
and,
accompanying you.
Bow and I tell her they went with
About
Kolia government building to look for you, I think it was.
We must have passed by there, unfortunately. So, may I ask for the report? How is Far Reach progressing along? Is order restored?
Yes,
If you
yes,
count-
it is.
say that.
You're not there, Gabriel.
Anarchy, 2 government officials missing, the town nearly destroyed. Pretty good.
Yeah, restored. Right.
You're not there, Fox. And as you're listing all this off, Silas, you just see her face go from hopeful to like, oh god, this is going to be a bureaucratic nightmare. So, am I to understand that the Count and Countess managed to evade apprehension?
Oh no, them? Oh no, we've got them back here. And I left the cover up.
So, I just want to point out that throughout the travel here, you guys kept them knocked out, which involved multiple head trauma throughout the entire trip.
Yeah, during this entire thing, I've been wondering, concussion, are they going to be like seriously brain damaged?
blood coating the wood from various broken noses, lacerations on the head. You
Been
haven't even
healing
got.
them as the.
Here's the thing though. I thought I'd cleaned up all that, but before we had got into town.
You cleaned it off of the statue. Most of the other blood is soaked into the wood. But yeah, it's like you guys didn't even get a chance to assess the brain damage. You just knocked him right out again.
It may be seriously mentally challenged for a bit, though, so.
She's looking at all the marks and just looks at you people and is like, who? As bad as they are, they should have at least been treated with some amount of dignity? Which one of you made sure that they were subdued? I'll leave it at that.
Now,
Jesh, but for the last, it was me.
The paladin can't tell a lie.
I will have to have words with you, Josh. As for you, next time you need to subdue someone, I believe a chokehold would be sufficient and not a sharp steel edge to the skull.
afraid
I
of
didn't mean to.
other options, but this just seemed like the easiest.
Ah, yes.
For a chokehold, and then I slipped, and then the shield hit. It was a big ordeal.
Make a deception check.
I recant the previous statement.
20.
Beautiful.
I hate you guys.
We get them when it counts.
Yep.
How to ruin a story, a 101.
Oh,
The lady just sighs and just goes, just make sure to wipe your feet off before you enter the ground so you don't slip anymore. Gods, take the Count and Countess into custody. Their trial will happen after the celebration tomorrow. Might I ask what are in those barrels?
Lots and lots of alcohol.
Well, there's at least some good news out of this. And she'll turn around and she'll walk right back inside as the guards take the Count and the Countess and like actually carry them properly. Like they bridal carry the Countess. Don't worry, Gabriel, they're not taking the alcohol, they're just taking the Count and Countess.
good.
Walk off. I give Silas a high five, and I say, nicely handled.
Give him a thumbs up, and I run over to the Countess. And I'm like, wait, I need to ask you something that you mentioned.
You mean Lady Camelot?
Yes.
She is not a count, and if you call her a count, oh boy!
But,
Yes, what is it? Silas, was it?
Kitty. You mentioned something of a ceremony?
Ah, yes. Tomorrow is the event known as Turgan's Height. Is when the daylight is most prevalent throughout the entirety of the year. Out of character, it's the summer solstice.
Summer solstice, gotcha.
So most of tomorrow is going to be much of citywide festivities. Well, that's assuming that the weather holds and it does not shower us tomorrow with rain.
Give it up to Mother Nature.
You mean Rogus?
Father Nature. Person Nature. God Nature.
God, man, you even worship the dude! Don't have any comeback for that, I see.
Rogus,
I slap him on the back of the head, and I say, our Lord and Savior Rogus.
he sort of like scratches his head a bit. Right, sorry.
At least you have one devout member.
It was that other guy, I swear.
And Lady Camelot nods and starts walking away again. Well, I am off to hopefully find Fox. I pray he is still in one piece. And Gabriel, what are you doing?
Alright, so how many new friends have I made?
The lumberjack party.
Do they happen to live in town?
Yeah, they live in one of the residential, I guess you could say, apartment complexes right near the gate, so they can get in and get out quickly enough.
Would they be would they be averse to helping get past the guards? Because I haven't done anything illegal. Because I just escaped from the tragedies and horrors of Far Reach, and I don't particularly care to recount those. I don't particularly care to recount those to the guard. I am that and I'm looking to meet up with a friend of mine in the slums. I hope he's still alive.
Oh yeah, mate. You don't have to worry about that at all. All you just gotta do is just go to one of the blokes there. Tell him what you got on you. So long as you don't got anything illegal on you, you're good to go, mate. Of course you gotta let them know that you're not from here, because if you say you're from here and you're not, they're gonna look into you, and if they find you lied, they're gonna come after you. Just let them know that you're from Far Reach. You don't gotta tell them nothing about the town or nothing like that. Just tell them you're from Far Reach. Just let them know what you got on you, and you should be good.
Fair enough. Do any of my new friends? Well, I'll ask them. I'll ask them. I'll ask them if there is if there's like a docks or fishery district. Because in every here because in every town I see I just have always enjoyed just as seeing ships and learning more songs and often and while your songs are wonderful they and I seek to collect songs from all sources.
Oh yeah, the local city docks are there on the north side. That's where most of the shipment comes and goes for the true commercial sector. But here on the south side, you got some minor docks for the sending the wine over to the other parts of the city, mate. You also got a couple of ferry terminals, one of which will bring you right over into the slums. It's the only one that will go right into the slums. The other one is from the heavy industry section to either the religious folks or the what's that, mate? Our residential section. Yeah, it goes from our residential section to the heavy industry. Now, if you want to go to the slums, mate, you got to go over to the logging industry area. You go over to the loggers, you take the ferry over to the slums. Be careful when you're in the slums. Some bad shit's been happening there, mate. People been dying like the fucking plague. And that thing is not disease nothing. is some bloody bloke with a knife is just going around shag.
Fair enough. During my time at the tavern, has anyone mentioned any local stories or other stuff about like about like the treasure of Helm's Deep or the Helm of Farsight or just or other stories like or other stories about like odd artifacts.
Artifacts, no. There's a couple that are saying that what's going on in the forest might be the result of waking up the monster of Carabanog.
Fair enough. I will thank them for the help and see if any of them need help making it home.
No, most of the people here are just going to stay here for the night. Because it's easier than trying to walk when you're drunk.
Makes sense. Gabriel would have been strategically drinking, just drinking just enough to keep the good times flowing, but knowing full and well that he has other stuff he needs to do.
You mean drinking responsibly?
No, drinking strategically. But I can't imagine the barkeep cares. And does the barkeep appear that sore with me as I turn to leave?
What are you looking for him to do?
Just does he still appear favorable? Because after everything's said and done, or is he like they left? I'm mad.
No, he has a very owlish face, which means he doesn't really have that many facial expressions. Aarakocra expressions come through posture and head tilting. But
Fair
even
enough. Can I roll an insight check to assess his general attitude towards me as I'm leaving?
Yes, you can.
$23.
I mean, he's still pretty amicable. He's not so much worried about you as he is worried about just the tavern itself. And it's like, you were being destructive, so he has no reason to hate you. He's just fine as is.
Fair enough. Well then, I will take my leave of my new friends, and ask if there's a good time to meet up with them again, because they were fun.
I maybe come here every night after work, so tomorrow night, maybe.
All right. So then he will bow. He will bow with a flourish and with a kind of playful smile. He will say it was a pleasure. Sharing the stage with y'all this evening, and then try to enter the city through the residential district.
Alright. You're typically accosted by a guard. Not really accosted, just like confronted by guards like, oh, what's the nature of your business and what are you taking into the city?
He would have paused. He would have paused and strown about various bardic things, like his instruments, a rope, and would intentionally structure it to look a little down his luck and say, "Listen, mate, I'm from Far Reach. The only things I carry on me are the tools of my profession, and I'm just seeking entry in the city with a hope that other people from Far Reach made it here."
I mean, I haven't really heard what's going on there. Most of what we've heard is that the Count has shitty. It's a shitty place to live. Has it really gotten that bad?
Yeah, yeah. Unfortunately, I was, I was looking to make it. I was looking to play in the tavern in one that I was looking to. I was looking to provide a little merriment, little merriment, little merriment in the taverns there. But then bandits attacked, and it just honestly the whole thing's a mess.
Bandits attacked? Ah, shit. I
Yeah.
mean, we knew that most of the guards know that being assigned them was practically a death sentence in terms of career. We didn't think it would actually be a death sentence. Ah, God. All right, you can go on. You can go on through. Are you
Yeah.
looking for employment now that you're not in Far Reach anymore?
I'm I have enough coin that sort of after everything, I might need to just pause and reassess for a day or two. You know, just sort of get my feet under me again before I consider what other work I might pursue.
All right. Well, there's those taverns out there, but if you, excuse me. Sorry, I had to sneeze. The guard goes, well, if you don't mind paying extra, I know there's a few better staff taverns in this southern residential district. There's also the northern district, which is slightly better for its proximity to the commercial district, but that would probably involve you getting on the ferries or going through the government district. Quick question, Gabriel. Is he dressed? Is he dressed indecently?
Yeah, I mean he would have intentionally dressed in like he would have intentionally dressed in kind of like average clothing, and then sort of just have his instruments featured prominently. He has two of them.
Okay, but average clothing, not like noble or not. I shouldn't say noble, but not like wealthy clothing.
Correct.
All right, so he'll like, yeah, you can either take the ferryway to the northern district, or you can try to walk through the governmental district. Just don't try to stick around there too long. They don't really take well to individuals who do not look the part or do not look like they belong, if you understand what I mean.
He will nod and go. He'll nod and go. He'll nod and go. I appreciate it. And if y'all had any friends in the guard over there, I might suggest writing to them because fortunately order is mostly restored. I mean, you know, there kind of was an uprising, and they got really irritated with the one to people responsible. But then fortunately, cooler heads prevailed. And what was the name of the one guard who was so helpful? Brian, was it?
Ryan.
And I'll go just listen. You know, the guardsman Brian just kind of did amazing work. He just really seemed like a guard with a solid head on his shoulders. I mean, I mean, it's just if being out there is a death sentence, you guys are really doing the guard a disservice by keeping him out there.
I have no idea who Brian is, but that seems like if he wasn't from here, he probably came from some other nearby town, or he was probably recruited locally. Which, that happens, and if he's recruited locally, it's a damn shame. But in order to get promoted and sent here, you probably have to get direct authorization from the count, but if Chaos is going there after the count is something or other, he may not have a chance to leave, so all I can give is my condolences, and I hope that the situation changes.
True, but true, but he appeared to have a calm head on his shoulders and spoke reason, did much to calm the situation, and I certainly understand that you guys aren't that. I certainly understand y'all's limited influence, but I've always believed in it. In noticing and making mention when someone does good work, and Brian did good work.
I will make a note of that, and if possible, we can put that as down as a merit. But unfortunately, we're not the policymakers for stuff. That's high command for this region. That would probably be up in Lake Town. We would have to. His commander would probably have to send a request to have him transferred, as well as have one of our commanders accept that transfer request. We would have to send both of those up to the headquarters. They would have to approve it, send back the responses, and then
I
all
mean,
that sort of stuff.
I quite don't have the head for bureaucracy, I understand, but so I certainly understand, but like I said, he did good work, and I believe good work deserves to be at least mentioned.
I will keep a note of that. Now, is there anything else you need, sir?
Nope.
All right.
And do they let him into the city?
Oh yeah, you. The only reason he was still talking with you is because you picked up idle chit chat that he was somewhat interested in. But yeah, it's like they let you go just fine. They don't even like search you. You go through.
Excellent.
Did you really think you would have to sneak into the city?
I don't know. I don't know. Remember, he's already been visited by two gods, one of which wasn't already pleased with him. So he's just so he's not willing to play the odds.
The gods are different from men. But okay.
James Bard never goes in by the front gate.
Even though he went in by the front gate.
That's what makes it better.
Here's the thing, though. That they will totally have never seen that coming.
All right. So, do you want to go to the closer ferry that will take you to the heavy industry section, or do you want to go to the ferry that will take you straight to the slums?
So is there an out of the way place where he can take a second look at his other invitation, just hunting for clues?
Certainly, you can find a park bench easily enough, and you can start skimming through your invitation.
Yep. Because I already have the textual description, and is there anything else that kind of jumps out?
Make an insight check.
$23.
Again with the 23s. Inside the invitation, you see a hidden message, and I'll be blunt. I didn't write out the entire invitation because that would take too goddamn long.
Yeah. I just feel free to send it via private message or something. Just looking for clues, and while everyone's all distracted with the various other goings on, he's going to take advantage of that.
Oh no. Actually, at this point, I would like everyone to head over to the waiting room, except for whoever's recording. You can stay here. Just you personally yourself, just take your headphones off.
I totally spaced out and missed that last bit.
Like those of you who are recording, you stay here.
Oh.
Just take your headphones off, and I'll send a message in bar talk for when you can come back.
Copy that.
In the hidden message within the invitation states, "Come to the oppressed, who know nothing but work, and sit with us underneath, they who keep us down."
Thing is, though, there's a lot of places where that happens. You know, is it any more specific?
How do I explain this? You do have a map of the region, and on that map is included like a grandiose, stylized image of a river end. And on the far eastern side, you see a almost cartoonish depiction of a fort. And you notice that right next to the slums, when you were overlooking the city on the hill, right next to the slums was a large fort-like structure.
Okay, so all right, and so what was the clue again?
Come to us who sit right beneath those who do the oppressing.
Okay, so to the slums I go.
Alright, so are you going to take the direct route to the slums?
Seems no reason not to.
Alright, so while we do that,
I see everyone coming back, so I'm assuming that's the all clear.
Yeah.
yes it is.
I just want to say we could probably use a few sparkling waters in the green room for next time. It was alright, but
There was no finger sandwiches.
no, nothing.
We are not wealthy enough where I can have a fully stocked waiting room. Maybe if Corey actually gets some sponsors, maybe then.
Unbelievable, Corey.
Are we still working on that Blue Moon deal?
I wish.
You know what? You just gotta keep asking. It's no until you ask, so.
Okay, Gray, are they fixed? Well, while Gray's fixing the connection problems, I actually think now would be a good time to take a short break.
Okay.
We'll take 5 to 10 minutes, depending on when.
Copy that.
Alright.
Your statue is fixed, and the very pale elf in front of you bows slightly. He's like, and there we go, your statue should have been fully repaired.
Oh, that is amazing. What is your name, sir?
My name is Velenas.
Velenas. And where did you learn this? This is amazing.
I learned at the, I learned of magic within the capital of Rius itself.
Oh,
I'll hand him a gold coin. Be like, payment for services rendered.
You'll nod and take gold coins like, thank you, this should go nicely to development of some of my research.
oh.
Although,
Sir Fox does research as well.
oh, interesting. If I may ask, what sort of research do you embark on, Sir Fox?
I'm a bit of an archaeologist, you could say.
He's the best.
Exploring ancient tombs, dungeons, things like that. Always so exciting.
So then may I ask, are you employed by Lady Camelot?
That I am.
Ah.
We've actually just returned to speak with her.
Oh, yes, that explains why she went out. I saw her walking out in the courtyard just now.
Oh, well,
I think she intended to come out to speak with you.
I figure we meet you here first to fix this before we stopped by and dropped off our find. There was a
Yes.
bit of an accident on the way here.
Yes,
I don't know
apologize.
when it happened. I'm so sorry.
No, worry not. It is all fixed now.
Kolya looks at Sujesh because we kind of apologized at the same time. No, it is my fault, Sujesh. I was not paying attention.
Oh, okay.
It's
Kolya walks over to the unconscious Kobold. Will he wake up soon? What was his name again? He said that I forget.
Raji was his name.
Raji.
He will wake up soon, or whenever I disband the spell.
Oh. Is he happy here?
Happy? I would not know. He seems more so content. I mean, I have never seen him lash out in anger at his given situation.
His people and ours and mine, we have our history. But I suppose content is the best we can look for sometimes.
Indeed.
And Mr. Velenus, may I ask that soon, when you have availability, I may swing by and discuss arcane matters further?
Certainly. May I have your name, sir?
Oh, yes. I am Sujesh.
Sujesh. Yes, whenever you are available, come see me.
Yes, I greatly appreciate that.
I always look forward for more research partners.
I'll smile and nod.
And anything else you want to ask him before you go on your way?
I don't think I have anything.
Kolya has so many questions, he's overwhelmed.
Vineth, actually, that is a, whatchamacallit, a Nordic saying. Yeah, taking an arrow to the mean basically means that you have gotten married.
Kolya can interpret that any way he wants, or all the ways, depending on who he's talking to.
But, yes, Velenus will bow, and then he'll go back to his research. And you notice multiple vials on a workbench.
Oh. Wait, vials with many colors in it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I whisper to Sir Fox, I think Silas would love to see what he's working on.
Perhaps if Sujesh comes back later, he can go with Silas.
Oh, if I'm able to, that would be wonderful.
Of course.
Oh, yes, I should probably bring Silas. I'm sure he would be very interested.
Mm.
But, if the lady was looking for us, perhaps we should find her post-haste.
Bah.
We don't wish to delay much longer. I'm sure our passengers are getting irritable.
Yes, let us go back down. Sir Velenus, I bid you adieu.
He'll turn around and bow, and then go back to his work.
I hope I hope Fineth is hitting them with his shield. That would be so funny.
Do you all take the elevator back down?
Yeah.
Oh yes.
So, out of character, Vineth went with them.
No, Vineth was with you. Coley is just imagining.
Koyo's technically metagaming.
A little bit. Just for narrative. Just for narrative.
But as you guys take the elevator back down, guess who's waiting at the bottom?
Lady
Coley
Camelot.
smiles and waves.
Lady Camelot, arms slightly crossed.
Ah, there you are. We were just looking for you.
Yes, I believe you were transporting some cargo.
Da! I kind of do that thing again. Lift the front half and show.
Do I realize she's a little bit crossed at me?
Make an insight check.
Just for fun on the roll, may Kolia do as well.
Oh, don't worry. I did just great.
I wasn't on the screen, that's even better.
Oh, seriously, just I'll let Kolya roll because it'd be funny if Kolya figures it out and Fox.
Koyo,
All right.
roll insight.
Excellent.
Oh. What?
Net 20!
Okay, that's fine.
You guys realize there are other numbers between 1 and 20. Right?
There is no way.
All or
Here's the
nothing.
thing, though. Not on this table, and this is just perfect.
And I'll just say, if there's anybody that happens to listen to this, I have a -3 to insight, and that was net 20. So.
Oh no, Corey's also recording the screen. They can see too.
Oh,
Yeah.
good. Okay.
Yep.
Awesome, dude.
Wait, you know, I noticed something with Kolya.
So,
Skill where he's got like a negative in it, he's got a natural 20.
Yep.
So, Fox, you look over at Lady Camelot, and all you see is like butterfly and beauty floating off of her. And it's just like part of you is thinking she's going to reach out and take your hand, maybe start a slow dance with you, maybe embrace you. Kolya, you see her eyebrows twitching just a little bit. You know that she may not be too keen about the idea of you two your entire group showing up unannounced with political prisoners.
I'll be like,
I'm kind of hunching my shoulders and trying to quote-unquote hide behind Fox.
Oh no, you also see Fox about to do something stupid.
Oh. I
And
just,
just step in.
I'm going to just grab on the back of Fox's cloak and kind of pull him back a little.
what's the matter, Kolya?
I don't think she is very happy. She looks mad.
Are you certain?
It's like what my mom looks like when I was talking too much.
Oh, yes. I'll just be like, were you referring to the statues that we brought?
Kolya gives an awkward smile.
No, Mr. McCallum, I was not.
Ooh,
Oh, she called you
last
mister.
name. I'll be like, I did send a runner. He seemed to have been stopped at the gate. Here's a full report, and I'll hand her the letter I wrote earlier.
She will snatch it from your hand and just start walking off.
I'll like go to call out to her, and then realize that's probably not a good idea right now. So I'll just be like, yep.
That's the worst when they don't discipline you right away. Oh.
It appears we're in a bit of hot water, gentlemen.
Mm.
It's unfortunate.
Or at least me in particular.
Do you believe she still intends to pay us?
Oh, I have no doubt in that.
Okay, well, in that case, I feel sorry for you. If there's any way I can help, let me know.
Thank you.
I don't know if your people are the same, but if a tribeswoman is angry, it's not good.
Oh, I'm sure this will all blow over. No need to worry about it too much.
Yes, it is not like. Yes. We did everything by the books, right? She said to take care of the situation.
Yes, we burned everything to the ground. That was taking care of it.
Let's not mention that. I may have kind of left that little bit out.
Oh, I see.
Oh.
Sujesh will lean over to Koya and say, that is what is called subtlety.
You must teach me more of this word. I have not heard it before.
But this is one of the first times I've heard of it, too.
Oh. These furless people are interesting sometimes, aren't they?
Ah, yes, it does take some time to get used to them.
So, Lady Camelot is just walking away. Vineth and Silas, you can see her, like, you were kind of invited into the actual place itself, and your carriage was taken off to the side, and you're escorted into the establishment, and you can see Lady Camelot walking from one of the back hallways. She just turns right without even saying anything and just storms up the staircase.
Do we see the rest of the party excluding Gabriel?
I mean, are the rest of you guys following her?
A few paces back.
Then yeah, you see the rest of the party, excluding Gabriel, doing James Bard shit.
Kolya just looks at Vineth and Silas and has puppy dog sad eyes and just shakes his head.
Silas sees them. He's gonna walk up to them and sort of talk with them and say, got some good news, some moderate news, and some bad news. And from the looks on your faces, you know the moderate news.
Shh.
Wait,
Subtlety.
there's something worse?
Is that our carriage has blood-soaked wood in the back of it, which could be seen as a possible murder scene.
I told you too much. What was the word you used?
Bunk?
I can't.
Though, is that there seems to be some kind of ceremony going on tomorrow to commemorate the hottest day of the year. And I was thinking to sacrifice around 2 barrels of that alcohol for cheaper than what the other merchants are selling it for and make a profit.
As long as it's not my whiskey, I'm in.
I have no complaints.
Oh, I love this idea. Do you know how you're going to get the license for this?
To speak with a couple of some government officials. One of them indicating the license ASAP.
Kolya winks at Sujesh and goes, subtlety.
I suppose it's possible they don't have licenses here. I don't know if every governmental establishment charges such heavy taxes.
The only problem is that I don't really know where the main event is sort of happening and when it's going to happen. Like, I know it's happening tomorrow, but tomorrow.
Oh. Is this a common celebration for these people?
For everyone else who's lived in this society, yes, this is a common celebration. It's called Surgen's Height. It commemorates the angelic deity Surgen, and on the longest day of the year, in which the sort of legend is that the more sun there is, the more powerful Zergend is.
Hmm. Is there any random person walking around?
Not right now, no. It's late at night, and most of the people that would be working here are home, and everyone was let go early because of the festival tomorrow.
Hmm.
I'm guessing
What
I
did
would
you
know
get?
a little more about it.
You know a little bit. It's a celebration that begins at sunrise, which during the summer solstice is early, and it will continue until sunset. During sunrise, there's a procession that goes to the religious polis in the northern part of the city, where they'll have a series of semi-Olympic style games happening in and around the polis. And all throughout the town, there's going to be decorations and events. Like various market squares will have stuff like strongmen competitions. Basically, imagine a day-long sort of state fair sort of deal.
Oh. This sounds exciting, Sir Fox.
Basically,
Do you know... Sorry.
Culminates with a procession at the from the government house to the religious polis in the morning. At midday, they're going to have a huge feast with, of course, prayers, and at the end, a religious procession back to the government house.
Gotcha. I'll let everybody know that.
Alright,
What
well,
are these taxes you talk about? I do not know this word.
you know what taxis are, from where I'm come from, it's just out.
Yes, we don't have that.
Yes, it is quite a terrible thing to have. I'm not going to provide you a full civics lesson, but say you farm 10 corn, you only get to keep 7 corn because taxes.
So like when you take over someplace and you take what they have.
Yes, but you only get 7 of what they have instead of all of what they have.
I would like this civics lesson sometime, Sujesh. It would be interesting.
Very well.
Sense to me though, because shouldn't like what you earn like work for? Shouldn't be what you earn?
That's how it is in my tribe.
Yes, like I said earlier, corruption.
I mean, taxes also have to pay for the military protection and all the stuff that you can't do.
Hey, as a character, I totally understand taxes, but Sujesh is not fond of them.
Right. You get into a political debate.
Sounds like communist propaganda.
Fox will point out that the taxes aren't so bad here. They're reasonable. The government needs money to supply soldiers and things like that, and keep the roads clean.
Yeah,
Your cities are very big.
if anyone ever Coy ever asked Gabriel for the civics lesson to be pretty simple. He basically put a 5 coins in front of him and say, now I'm acting as a person. So these 5 are your coins, and I take them. That's called stealing. However, he then would put on a different hat and go, but now I'm the government. He'd put the 5 coins back out. These are your 5 coins, and he takes 5 of them and goes, that's taxes.
Collier is getting civics lessons from a rogue and a sorcerer thief. This is good.
You're getting civics lessons from anti-government.
Yeah.
Well, we are technically terrorists.
You're right.
I must learn more. But perhaps we should follow Lady Camelot. She is very angry. Oh.
Yes, Sir Fox is in quite a lot of trouble, and no one else, just Sir Fox.
Oh, well, if Sir Fox is in trouble, so am I.
I wouldn't go with trouble. Not in that sense. Well, we'll just see how it plays out.
So, do you continue up the staircase?
Yeah, slowly. I'm gonna try and give her some space.
When you reach the top of the staircase, she's standing there, arms crossed, tapping her foot impatiently.
Sorry, Lady Camelot. They were giving me a civics lesson.
I can do that well enough. But for now, Mr. McCallum, follow. Everyone else, if you would please step inside my, I guess you could say, apartment. There will be refreshments brought to the dining room. Mr. McCallum, follow me.
I'll look to everyone and give a awkward thumbs up and be like, "It'll be all right. Don't worry."
You got this, my friend. Best of luck.
Collier returns thumbs up.
Alice is just shaking his head, and thinking, this guy is going to die.
Now, if everyone could head to the waiting room except for Fox. So, Lady Camelot pretty much just walks straight to an empty room and just holds the door open for you and just glares at you.
I will slink in.
She will slam the door behind you and just glare at you. What the fuck happened?
It's a long story. If you read my reports, you know about the how shall we put this, hidden sanctum of demon worship? And this
Yes, I read that, and thank you for apprehending them. However, you should have let me know that you were apprehending them, so I could have sent a proper prisoner escort to make sure that they were at least returned with some level of dignity and grace. Also, you failed to mention that you set the entire mansion on fire.
that wasn't particularly us. The townsfolk were not too thrilled with the Count after his misdeeds.
When I said handle it, I thought you would have at least calmed everything down and brought it to a stable enough position to where I could have sent in a representative to administer the place until another count could be found. I did not expect you to create anarchy and multiple thousands of gold in property damage.
Yes. It was unfortunate and unexpected.
You still completed your mission. You brought back a few artifacts, as little as they were. I also read in a report that you found some old shrine.
Yes, and I'll also pull out the book that's in my bag, the demon book, and the pieces of the sarcophagus, and be like, these were also. The book was among the Count's possession, and the sarcophagus was in one of the dig sites. They appear to be connected in some way, referencing a.
How long have you been holding those?
Oh, for some time.
She just walks over, grabs a box, smacks your hand with holding the items, and makes the items fall into the box, slams the box shut, and kicks it away from both of them. Never do that again, okay?
I take it by that reaction you know what it is.
I don't know what it is, but I know what evil magic can do to people. It is not pretty. Do you understand?
I believe I do. I did manage to translate something off the sarcophagus. Or what was left of it. It said, "Here lieth Velaran, mistress and avatar of Cordelia, guardians of Hellwalkers and Lady of Succubi." Do you know, or perhaps maybe the mages in the tower, any more information on this Cordelia?
Mages? Possibly not. You would better be served going to the holy people at the religious polis.
I see. I suppose I know where my next stop is to be.
What am I going to do now? Well, I will say this, you still completed your mission, so you will be paid. However, I will have to deduct some of your funds to help with the rebuilding of Far Reach, as part of it was apparently instigated by you and your colleagues.
I'll bow and be like, I understand.
In the meantime, we have no free apartments here, as the Council of Counts have arrived, and thus most of the apartments here are taken. So I shall set you up in one of the taverns here in the governmental district, so you have some level of comfort.
I'm sure you needn't worry yourself with such things, lady. We're quite capable. We You don't need to worry about us.
It's more so you are close so you can testify in the trial.
Ah, I see. Makes sense.
Alright. Now, go rejoin your friends. I shall have a servant escort you to the inn, whereupon you can get your refreshments and rooms for the night. Don't worry, it shall be paid for. Consider that also deducted from your reward.
I understand. I apologize for our unannounced arrival. And, the mishaps of our, time in Far Reach.
Alright. Now, off you go. Alright, so, Corey, are you going to leave the room?
Yeah, I'll head back down to where everybody else is.
You walk into a civics lesson about taxes.
I still don't know. It seems overly complicated.
Yes, and don't even get me started if you choose to not pay them.
Hmm.
I'll kind of arch an
Ah.
eyebrow as I come in and be like, "What?
Oh.
I shouldn't ask."
So how did it go, Mr. Fox?
Nah.
It wasn't as bad as I expected. Could have been worse. We have a rooms in a tavern set up for us nearby. There will be a servant along for us, so we can
Everyone?
testify in the trial against the count.
Everyone but Gabriel make a perception check.
Nice. 15.
Drill 1, yeah.
There it is. Can't go one check without it.
Amusingly, Kolya's the only one that notices a faint scream of frustration from upstairs.
Hmm. He says nothing.
Okay.
Just so fascinated about the tax lesson, he's not even like really there.
He's still
Silence.
writing notes.
You didn't even realize that Fox entered the room. Alright, so eventually a servant comes and starts escorting you from the premises. We will now go over to Gabriel.
Okay.
You eventually get in the ferry, take the ferry over to the slums, and once in the slums, oh boy. Whereas the rest of the city was ordered lines, this is like, okay, so you know the street layout of New York, right?
Yes.
The slums is like a compressed layout of Los Angeles streets. You know what I mean? Just like curves everywhere, just all bunched together.
Sure.
I'm gonna take that as a no. Just imagine winding streets with a lot of dead ends and like very tight alleyways. Combine that with a bunch of dirty people just like milling about, arguing. Just imagine the worst absolute ghetto you can think of. That's what you are in right now.
Well, I mean, as a bonus, he's going to be hard to follow. So hey,
I assume you start making your way over to the fort.
yep.
Please don't get in that one.
Do it.
Okay, you're lucky. You continue onward. When you get closer to the fort, make a perception check.
10.
Alright, it takes you a while, but eventually you come across a tavern like right on the edge of a small wall set up by the guards. The tavern reads, "The Red-Skinned Men."
Huh. Sounds interesting. Does it, Gabriel will sort of saunter his way in.
It is a dive. You see there's like 3 people drinking, miserably drinking, and one bartender just wiping away at a dirty glass or tankard with a dirty rag.
So, he will then, Okay. He is going to take out a scrap of parchment and write down the phrase, and then order a drink,
Okay, so you just order a drink.
and then as soon as and then whenever he's done with the glass, he's going to he's going to he's going to put the scrap of parchment on the bottom with and then pass them both to the barkeep discreetly.
The barkeep will take up the parchment and just look at you and be like, "Sorry, mate, I don't have that right here. You want to follow me in the back? Can get you a fresh keg." Alright.
All right.
And you follow him in the back.
Mm-hmm.
You reach a big giant barrel that he just pops the top off of, and when you look inside, there's a ladder.
All right. I will then thank him.
He is not addressing you right now. He's just looking out around anywhere but you.
Okay, so then he won't do that, and we'll just climb down.
Alright. As soon as your head clears the lip, he puts the lid back on. But you have dark vision, of course, so you can see. I
Alright.
assume you continue to follow the path?
Yep.
The path is easily marked, at least well enough. With, that's the thing, they mark the path by hanging up little, carnival masks.
Alrighty. Well, that's certainly different, but it'll keep following along.
Eventually you start hearing rowdiness, almost like a tavern.
Huh. In the spirit of the keeping, Gabriel will take out his 2 masks and put them on the side of his pack, and then keep going.
Eventually you come to a door which seems to look like a dresser. A dresser door.
He'll check it for traps.
There's no traps.
Okay.
For
Alright,
record,
well then.
the noise of the party's going on right behind the doors.
Okay,
and there's
then
a
he
little
will
like
open.
a viewing. There's a little viewing slit in the door.
He'll just look through the viewing slit then.
Sorry, it's like the bar. It's like the bouncer viewing slit where you have to slide it open to look through.
Okay, well then he will. So the pathway ends here. There's nowhere else to go.
Yep, it just goes right to the door.
Okay. You He will then just he will then just use prestidigitation to produce the sound of a knock and just wait. Or
Minute-
minor illusion. Yeah, that one.
The minute you knock, and there's 2 eyes just glaring at you, feline eyes.
And then he will pass. Then he'll pass another slip of parchment.
Snatches parchment out of your hand, shuts the little eye slit. I assume it's a parchment with the passphrase.
Yep.
Yep. Then you hear locks unlocking. And more locks unlocking. And more locks unlocking. And then the door opens, and before you is a pitch black. I almost said Khajiit. Pitch black Tabaxi just staring at you as he opens the door for you.
Gabe will then bow with a theatrical flourish and step through.
He closes the door behind you, and as you round the corner, you're treated to the side of a bunch of tables with individuals of all shapes and sizes with alcohol in hand. In the back, there's a big semicircle of a quote bar. It's really just a bunch of kegs with drink cups nearby to pull from. And as you turn around, everyone turns to you, the music stops, everything gets dead quiet.
Um. Get. Get. So Gabe will just smile confidently, bow, and just go. Please. Please. Don't stop on my account. Sound like you guys were having a good time before I got here.
From the upper balcony towards the back, you see a fairly rotund-looking human just stand up, spread his arm. Emil Vizila, welcome.
You.
And as your name is said out loud, everyone in the place has some sort of reaction.
He'll. So Gabriel will just sigh and go, yeah. Gabriel will sigh and almost look a little disappointed.
Come talk with me. And now's the part where everyone goes to the waiting room.
Alright. I'd worked so hard to keep that really secret.
Oh, that's the thing. I just gave them the name. They don't know anything else. I have to give them something.
Alright.
I will admit, though, that was a little bit of a slip-up on my part. I'm sorry. But they won't hear the next stuff that's about to happen.
Okay.
I assume you go up to talk with the man?
He will, and Gabriel will, purposely look kinda disappointed.
And as you reach up there, he just spreads his hand. Oh, why the sour face?
The egg, because well, I've survived for many years at court on the axiom that 3 people can keep a secret if 2 of them are dead, and surely if you know of me, you know how hard I have worked to keep that particular one.
Oh yes, I've known you. I've known you since you were 5. As have half of the individuals downstairs. Granted, most of them have only spent a couple of weeks surveying you, but at least half of the people down there at least know you by name. Although I must say, I enjoy your different face. I do love the way that you changed your hairstyle. Much more fitting.
Yeah, the former Osborn had certain distinctive features that made creating someone else difficult.
Yes, I'm quite aware. But once again, there's that phrase, honor among thieves. However, I know you don't much buy into that, but I must say it's for us where we deal with, what's the phrase I'm looking for? Lies and treachery? we have to have some kernel of truth, at least amongst ourselves. Because if all we do is deal in lies and treachery, our business plan kind of falls off the deep end.
So it sounds like you have a formal organization. Whereas, if you know of me, you know that my training has been at best haphazard. A little bit there, here, a little bit there. Nothing formal, because for reasons you probably well know.
Oh, yes, quite indeed, quite indeed. But that's also why I invited you here. Partially to give you a feel for a more organized and, well, I do give my compatriots a little leeway when they do things, but for the most part, we follow some rules which you may not have followed before, but I'm sure you are capable of following. But also, I want to see what you can do, because I want to see just how much of a, I guess you could say, renegade you are, and whether or not that actually works. To put it bluntly, you are a bit of a curiosity.
So, so I'm to audition then.
I believe that is the closest word closest approximate word that I'm looking for. Yes.
Is it really necessary? Because it could be because given who I am and the so 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 given who okay, given who I am and how I've managed to arrive here, without anyone without with very few having so much as a clue as to who exactly I am is not enough.
Oh no, it is enough. It's just this is primarily a formality. Most everyone is quite aware of your skill. It's just you must understand that there are some formalities that, well, my section of the masts tend to play a little loose with the rules. There are those above me who are not so loose, and they would be very upset if I didn't uphold tradition somewhat. Believe me, and it's a very harsh waste of your talents to just send you on some wild goose chase. So I've devised 3 simple scenarios, all of which you can accomplish within the next few days, possibly.
My years at court have taught me to agree to nothing before I know what they are. So what are they?
Well, you may know that upcoming is Sergen's Height, a festive time, no?
I mean, that mean, that I mean, at least if you follow the history of festivals, most of them started for some reason or another. So I don't try to keep up with all of them. So there's a festival to be held tomorrow. Yes.
Yes, indeed. And within that festival, there is something important that is always worshipped. Sergen's Crystal of Light. Now, I'm not going to go so far as to say you should steal that. No, 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 no. That will be guarded heavily, especially today amongst all days, in addition to being worshipped. What I want is I want the information on where Sergen's church acquired the crystal. That should be somewhere in their private chambers. Now, this should be easy considering that most of the clergy are going to be out either celebrating or tending to the faithful, so the temple should be practically empty. I say practically because, well, there's the phrase, shit happens.
Sure. What's the second?
The second is the removal of a very dangerous criminal. As I'm sure you've heard, there has been a spat of murders within the slums in the past few days.
Yes, I'm aware.
Yes, well, we had in our employ someone who was a bit touched in the head, and it seems that they have finally snapped. Now, what I would like you to go is find them and promptly snap something a bit more physical in the body, and then dispose of said body. We don't need the gods cracking down too hard on the area, at least not harder than they already are.
Right. And what's the third?
Lady Camelot is having an interesting time. In addition to what's going on in Far Reach, the recent princess of the Riverlands has, how shall I say it? She has been declared unfit for continual service, for she has simply fallen ill, and since she is unmarried without any siblings or a declared heir to the throne, it is now up to the various lords and ladies of the Riverlands to compete for the position of prince or princess. And amongst them, Lady Camelot is a favorite. What I want you to do is I want you to sneak into her chambers and discover any sort of discourse she's had with any one of her neighbors. I would like to be very informed as to how she plans to go about securing her position, and to be able to use that to my advantage.
So you want me to break into a government building?
A government building you already have access to because of the trial against Count Ibiz.
Do try and keep up. I've been very, I spent some time a little while ago just working to edit myself out of that particular story because it draws attention, and attention is never good.
Oh, I recognize that. Which is why I also believe that you can convince Lady Camelot to not participate in the trial, as I'm sure she's quite sympathetic to your stature. However, because your colleagues have been granted access to the government house, by nature you are also granted access to the government house, including most of the floors, of which includes Lady Camelot's private residence. And therein lies your into finding out her methodologies behind her succession to the throne. Now, how you go about doing so once you're inside her room, I leave up to you. But for now, let's just say you have a way in, thanks to your colleagues.
And Gabe will decide and go. You know, I intentionally came here. I intentionally came here because I want to avoid going to the government district for obvious reasons.
You want to avoid anyone who would recognize you, I assume?
Yes, I'm me. I mean yes, because apparently everyone knows.
Well, you are in luck. The only one who actually recognizes you is Lady Camelot. The others who could possibly recognize you are located either at the one of the other major river cities to the west, or the late Princess of Lake Town. Of those, the nearest person who would possibly recognize you is the Princess of the Northern Breach, which is far to the north. So you should be relatively safe. Plus, you look nothing like your old self, so even those who would recognize the name will not, or just simply the face, will not. You are about as incognito as you could ever be at the moment.
So so as so you're someone else to whom I need to prove myself, and what exactly do I get?
What exactly are you looking for?
The training skills and tools that that no one else, and I mean no one, might make the same connections.
So you want the skills to disappear from your life completely?
Yes, yes. Due to certain factors. Namely, my brother's counsel and uh, their plans for me that I'd rather not be around for.
Ah, yes, those. However, I will say that, especially with the favor your colleague has with, Lady, hopefully Princess Camelot, your adventures may take you outside of our borders entirely. Possibly. There may be some other work she has entailed for you, but it seems I'm running my mouth a bit too much. So, I told you at least all I know to get you started on your, quote, trial. What I can say is that I vouch for you to pass. If you complete any of these tasks, I can grant you some extra in terms of skills and possibly even equipment. Or hints, whichever you prefer.
No, I mean, I would much prefer I ask not to be given things, but but the training, skills, and tools to do them myself, because there's a certain satisfaction in that. And the and the and my only other condition is that the name Emile Vizil never passes your lips again, as he's exiled, he's captured, he's all sorts of things, and can be no one's ally and no one's enemy. But Gabriel LeBeau, Gabriel would say, Gabriel LeBeau, he said, pointing to his disguise, is 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 interested, and it would be to our mutual interest to to ensure that identity is well established. Yes.
Indeed. Well, I will say this. Try not to go anywhere near your old home in the Upper Vale. I hear your sister is becoming quite powerful, and is actually desperately searching for you, for she believes that you are not exiled, as apparently you are not.
Well, I mean, it's one of those things where my absence solves certain problems, and and, and to be honest, I'm not going to wait for permission any longer to begin living my life.
Well, I should say congratulations, but well, I'll leave the rest to you.
And what is that? What exactly do you mean? Congratulations. Did my brother auction me off? Did my brother auction me off to a princess or cousin?
Not entirely, but that is not for me to tell, at least not at the moment. So, I believe you are set, and I believe that our discussion is at its natural conclusion. So, please go back downstairs, enjoy the alcohol, make merry with the rest of your future colleagues, possibly, and we will see you in the future.
Maybe. And he'll just smile and join the festivities downstairs.
Alright, and I'll leave you to the festivities.
And that was a really long time.
Yeah, I'm dying to know what happened.
secret notes.
You were not listening on any of that, were you,
No.
Corey?
No, I was not.
Okay.
I just don't know if you noticed in the Roll20 chat before he got there, I'm like, James Bond returning to MI6 to get new mission orders. Oh, I don't like that demonic laugh from...
Alright. So, while Gabriel was enjoying the festivities in the bar, everyone else, you are brought to a very nicely established inn. It is now dark. It's approaching 9, 10 in the evening. And as you enter, you notice that this inn, while it's like normal inns are very much like a bar area with a bartender, this one is like a classic hotel. It actually has a reception desk, and you can see behind the reception desk in the far back is a separate bar with a various screens separating the reception from the bar. And whereas other bars are very rowdy, this one is very much more highbrow, I would just say.
Are these people drinking, or do they just look at all the pretty bottles?
I'll give him a look and be like, it's a little complicated here. They're not as energetic as the rest of us.
Ah, complicated. Taxes. I understand.
Sit here.
God damn it. Okay. And as you guys approach the reception desk, you notice that the receptionist is a small male gnome with glasses almost as big as his nose, if not bigger. And he's standing on a stool. He looks up as you approach. Yes, gentlemen, how may I help you today?
Did the Lady Camelot send word of our arrival?
Ah, yes, you are Camelot's party. Yes, yes. How many rooms will you be staying in tonight?
I defer to the rest of the group. I'll kind of look at him and be like, you guys got a sleeping arrangement, or...
I'm with you, Sir Fox.
I'm with other people. But I'm going to be staying
Yeah, I
up
don't mind either.
Does that mean Sujesh gets his own room?
Sujesh looks very uncomfortable and looking like he wants someone to invite him into his room.
You're welcome to stay with us.
Yes. I will do that then.
So, I'll look back at the receptionist and be like, so, 2 rooms?
2 rooms? Very good. For the party of 3, that would be tough, but... 1 second. Yes. We do have the presidentials. We do have the, Imperial Suite available. We can put you with that. That would be absolutely wonderful. For you two, we do have a very nice, no, not that suite. Are you two possibly, together?
I think he was asking you, Silas. And I'll like kind of elbow
Cody
him.
just looks at both of you.
You see Silas and Vinette like, are you two, together?
It'll be fun.
2 beds.
2 beds. Okay, so together but not together.
Not in that way.
Yes, okay, 2 beds. Yes, the bachelor suite. That'll be good. Any accompaniment this evening? Companionship for the hour or possibly for the night?
I have my friends with me. That is companionship.
I don't think he meant it that way, Kolga.
We have both genders available. 1 moment. And he claps his small hands, and from 2 doors come 4 individuals, a female half-elf and a female elf, along with a fairly skinny male human and a somewhat ripped male dwarf. Pretty much nothing covering their tops for the males, wearing loincloths on both, and the females have like a sort of a semi-opaque sheer shawl, I guess you could say, covering their upper half. And they just give a nice curtsy. The females do, and the males bow. And you notice the dwarf, he doesn't have a beard, he has a goatee. We provide to both genders, if you have a specific preference.
Fox will just look down and be like, I believe I'm all set. As for the rest of everybody else, they can decide for themselves.
I do not wish to have a wrestling partner.
Wrestling? Oh, if that is what we're doing, dwarf looks strong and
I'm
tough.
I'm going to be fine. I have work to do. So
I'll nudge Kolya and whisper in his ear and be like, no, they mean a different kind. The, intimate kind, Kolya.
Oh, wink. Subtlety. Yes.
Precisely.
Oh my god!
Still, I want to know his workout routine. He is very, muscly.
The receptionist will turn to Vineth. And you, monsieur.
Thank you.
Vineth?
Can anyone else hear what Vineth is saying?
He's typing.
Ah, okay. And the gnome will bow, clap his hands again, and the companions will give a bow before retreating back to whence they came, and the gnome will hand you your room keys.
Thank you.
Would you possibly like room service for not for the companions, but for actual food or drink?
I don't know about the rest of you, but an actual hot meal sounds a lot better than our road rations we've been eating lately.
Yes, I very much agree.
Yes, I'll also take some room service.
Very well. Here we are, and he'll actually hand you like menus. Just simply ring the there should be cords right next to the door. Just ring the one that says room service, and we will have someone come up and take your order as quickly as possible.
Thank you. I go up to my room.
Does everyone else go up to their room?
Yes.
Alright, Vineth is staying behind.
I think I think he's headed to his room.
He said, 1 second.
He said, "Me too."
I think that was for the room service.
That was for the room service.
Oh, yeah. I don't like that laugh.
The gnome will look at you, Vineth, and just nod, be like, looking out for your companions, I see. Very responsible of you. It shall be done. Now, please, if you would like, we can have one of the fine individuals escort you to your room. And we can make sure that everything is delivered as promised. And so, you guys look at the menu. There's various, salads for the appetizer. They have salads with meat on them, like chicken, and then they have salads that are primarily lettuce and berries. And of course, they have some form of steak.
Sorry, I had to log out and come back in.
No worries. I'm just reading what the menu has to offer.
Ooh.
ingredients in each of the meals, or just the meals?
I'm just reading off the meals. Like, there's salads, some vegetarian, some not. Then you have like steaks, salmon, fowl, foie gras.
Oh,
Also, list price next to it.
Pardon?
Do they have prices next to them?
No.
Sir Fox, can we get any of these things?
I would also like to remind you that this is being paid for by Lady Camelot.
Think.
Let's not go too over the top.
Okay,
Hmm.
I'm just going to say this. You're at a place that doesn't put a price tag next to any of the items.
Because they're fancy.
And that'll be 38 gold.
Kolya doesn't know that though. They just give you food?
No, they just conveniently forget the prices.
Oh, well, if they forget, we can just tell them it was this, right? Sujesh, you are good at not telling truths, right?
Well, yes, there's an old adage. If it's not in the system, it's free.
Oh, I will take all the meats.
Yes, I will have some meat too.
Sorry, because I was out. Are we up in the room or are we still in the foyer?
You're in the room.
Okay.
So you guys go, you ring the little bell. Eventually, Koya, the scantily clad musk-ripped dwarf comes with a pad of paper and a pen to take your order.
Oh, wait, with the goatee?
Yes.
Ah, hello, dwarf.
Hello, sir.
Ah, we will take many of the meats, all the meats. Does anyone want any vegetables?
Fox will look at Kolya and be like, I'll take a little of everything. A little meat, a little vegetables. Some
Change your
potatoes.
mind. The man wants one of everything.
No.
The dwarf will smile and nod. I will make sure to prepare a variety of side dishes to accompany the main course.
Oh, spasibo. Also, Kolya kneels down to his height. How much? They made it sound like it cost money to have you hang out with us. How much would that be?
That depends on the type of service.
Oh, I want to see your workouts. You are very in shape. I'm impressed.
For that? For you? It's free.
Oh, good. You come hang out with us when you bring the food, and bring drinks too.
Of course. It would be my pleasure. And he will make his way downstairs to get your food. Meanwhile, Vineth, Silas, you guys get a much more modestly clad individual to take your order. And since you're elves, I'm assuming you're getting salads. Also, what antidote are you looking for, Silas?
Just an antidote for poison. A general not like a cure-all antidote, but one that can help remedy it.
So you're effectively looking for an EpiPen. Make a nature check.
I give up.
Yeah, you don't really know any of the flora in this area are good to make a catch-all antidote, or at least something that could slow down any sort of poisons. Yes, Fox. Yes, he did.
Fantastic.
Yeah. A chicken Caesar salad.
What's that? You cut out, Silas.
Caesar salad.
Salad? The berry salad or the one of the salads with meats?
Chicken on it.
Chicken salad? Then that's going to get the same. Okay, you guys basically order grilled chicken Caesar. And since it's a salad, that comes up to you guys quickly enough. Did you want any drinks with it?
Delicate.
You're brought up the finest mead that they have. And when you taste it, it's a smooth honey feeling going down your throat. You barely feel the alcohol. Now, for the other
Is
three.
my mic working yet, guys?
Now it is.
Hmm.
Now for the other three. There's a knock at your door.
Koya opens.
There is the dwarf with two of the caddy carts full of food. One he's pushing and the other he's pulling.
Ha
That's his workout routine.
And as he brings it in, he takes off all of the metal lids to reveal various steaks, stews, barbecue ribs, and various other sides such as steamed vegetables, a
Thanks.
baked potato.
I'm so hungry right now.
Also, one of the lower layers of the cart is nothing but alcohol.
Oh. You are best dwarf ever.
And as you say that, he strips naked.
He's got your meat right there for you.
And he starts posing for you, Kolya.
Can Koya roll an insight to see if he gets the gist of what's going on?
Please roll an insight.
Perfect. That'll be a 4.
Are you gonna start flexing next to him?
Yeah, no, Kolya,
yeah.
it seems like he's just putting on a show for you. It's just showing off his muscles, and it seems like this is what he does is workout. He's like pushed around heavy stuff. It does push-ups, and it seems like he wants you to join in.
Alright. Koya whips off his little loincloth and tries to copy what the other guy is doing
So, Jeff,
while grabbing meat.
you now have two muscular men doing basically the adventures of JoJo poses.
I am not human and are not ashamed of bodies, so they can do that. I'm going to eat some raw meat and do my thing, which is not that.
They're also naked.
Oh yes, I know. I am not.
Okay. So, alright.
So how does this make you is it you hold the pose and you tighten every muscle, and that is... I can see that getting tiring after a while.
Yes, it does get tiring, but it's a good way to build stamina.
Fox will do a face palm, look directly at Kolya and be like, Kolya, this man is
Da.
trying to render services of a particular type to you. And you're just not...
Da.
I don't know. Okay, I guess I'll just put it bluntly. This dwarf is a, I don't want to say a call man of sorts, and he's thinking you want to have sex with him.
Oh. Is that what you do, dwarf?
Indeed, amongst other things. My official title is to keep the company of others, whatever that may entail.
And you make money doing this.
Indeed.
Fascinating. These cultures are so interesting.
Yes, correct. If you were not as valuable to us not doing this, I would suggest you have a second career.
Oh. Ah. You are very kind, Sujesh. You must tell me more, dwarf. I want to understand how these systems work.
Maybe another time.
Oh. All right. Well, let's keep going with this workout. It's good. I haven't fought in a while.
Okay. Kolya, make a constitution save, because I figure you're going to be drinking a lot of the alcohol.
Oh boy.
A save, you say?
Yes.
I can see where this is going.
Yeah, can we pan to the side and I can have a conversation with Fox for a little bit while they pose with each other?
Yes, you have a conversation.
Pose with each other.
So, Mr. Fox, how did your meeting with Lady Camelot go?
Interesting enough. She seemed a little,
Upset? Vexed? Mad? Angry?
a little ticked off that we didn't do things by proper channels, but she did say that we at least got the job done, so there was that, and
Well, good. Is there a next move? Do we need to investigate anything, or run away from fires, or kill bad guys?
I was planning on stopping by and having them religious polis and talk to some of the clerics or historians and see if they have any information on this Cordelia.
I would ask you who Cordelia is, but you don't have information, so I don't think you would know.
Let's just say it has something to do with the sarcophagus in that book we found at the Count's Manor.
You mean the sarcophagus that was destroyed?
Yeah, the fragments I could translate said that a servant of Cordelia was laid there, so something about being the watcher of hellwalkers and master of succubi, something along those lines.
You are a grave walker, right? Is that the same as hell watcher?
I don't think so.
Okay, and what is Koya up to?
I'll look over at Kolya.
I'm just going to say this. We're going to pan to black as your conversation fades and you guys go to sleep.
Oh boy. You'll find out tomorrow morning.
And, Gabriel, do you decide to sleep in the slums, or do you make your way to the rest of your party?
You should. Let's see. Since he doesn't currently know where they are, he would probably just make his way back to the inn room he had paid for.
On the outside of the city? Okay. So,
Well, let's see. Staying in the slums with the murder on the loose is probably not a good idea. He would probably get out of the slums and then just, I suppose wander. I suppose he would just. Suppose he just wander around until he felt an inn calling to him, because trying to go back out the gates, probably not the best idea.
alright, you find a decent sort of inn. It's not as fancy as what the rest of the guys are going through, but it's nice enough. It's actually pretty clean for the most part.
All right. And are rooms still available?
Yep, there are rooms still available. Granted, there's like a choice of 3 rooms out of a total of 24, so not that many choices, but there are free rooms.
How much a night?
2 silver a night.
Well, I guess he's still ahead, so he'll go and pay the 2 silver.
You said you'll pay?
Yep.
Alright.
Could be because I assume it's pretty late and he needs to go to bed.
Alright, so you pay it and you go to sleep. And here's the part where, for all those who are listening, this is where we do the fun part. Everyone roll D10,000.
Oh, right. Almost forgot.
Hehehe.
Maybe I wanted to forget.
Oh, Sujesh and Vineth.
Never good when you get named.
Nope.
Oh, those 2 rolls are tasty looking.
Good luck.
Oh, what to do with you, Sujesh?
A mother's embrace.
Unfortunately, you don't get that luxury.
I like how that's your favorite option, though.
Instead of the warm, bright light of the mother, you get the stern, cold darkness of the father. And so, you wake up in your bed, and sitting in the corner is a man wearing a dark robe, shrouded in even more darkness, with a pen and paper in hand.
Hello.
Good evening.
What do I owe the pleasure to?
It is time for your report on your magical capabilities.
Yes, they have not grown much since my travels started, but I have been trying to heed the caution of keeping myself in check.
He just indicates your cheek. It seems you did not caution yourself enough.
Yes, I did have an accident. I got wrapped up in the moment, and my friends were in trouble, and I needed to save them. You must understand.
Emotions are dangerous.
Maybe in some cases, but in this case, I think it was necessary. I had to save her.
Dangerous and can cloud judgment, especially in matters where one life versus many. Thankfully, this was not one of those instances.
I see. I will try to take your words. I will try to heed them.
Very well.
Can you can I talk about you to other people?
What stops you from doing so?
The fear of reprisal.
And why would I damn you for spreading the word of us?
That is a point well taken. Very well. Thank you for answering my questions. Is there any more that I may be of service to you?
Beware he who walks the line between life and death.
Do you speak of my friend Mr. Fox?
And with that, he vanishes.
Scratch chin and fade to black.
Alright, Vineth, you there? Ooh, Koya also scored high.
Always.
But Vineth, your dream is a very troubling one. Your dreams are marked by the sight of a forest, not alive and well, but slowly dying. And as it dies in its death throes, the vines from the trees begin to wrap around you, around your neck, closing, closing, closing. And then the trees are on fire, burning. The fire inches down the vines towards your neck. The heat radiating, almost burning. And it seems like there's one question spoken by the forest as the flame slowly engulfed you. Why? And you wake up from your nightmare.
Is it like morning?
Nope, middle of the night.
It's the contemplative walk.
What?
Contemplative walk around the whole green.
There is a nearby park if you want to spend time there.
Just processing, and then eventually I'll just go back to sleep.
Alright. Kolya,
The
you fall asleep in the nice, dark, warm embrace of night,
Mm-hmm.
and then you suddenly wake up and it's bright day. You look around you and it seems like you're in some sort of half-built city. People are bustling around you, carrying timbers and stones to and fro. And in front of you, you see a woman, although she's not very woman-like. Imagine a medieval version of Rosie the Riveter.
Hmm.
And there she is, like stacking stones up one against another, building the bottom floor of a new building. And she turns to you and gives you a smile.
I smile back.
And she'll go back to work saying, "It's always a wonderful feeling when those who are not born into my greatness can appreciate it for what it is when they see it."
Oh. Are you building one of these big cities?
Am I building it? No, I do not build anymore. But my children, they build for me. And so long as they keep building, I will keep growing in power.
Oh. I feel like I know you, but I am not sure. If it is not too much, what is your name?
You already know. This simply understanding that will come with time. And with that, she turns around, smiles, and you fall back asleep.
Oh.
Okay, other people. Gabriel, you have a pretty nice night. I mean, the bed is a little bit stiff, but it's good, nice, solid sleep. Fox,
Yes.
your sleep is punctuated slightly with seemingly giggles and laughter that emanate from nowhere.
Does the voice sound familiar?
Can't tell you that.
Ah. Alright.
Let's just say it seems unearthly.
That'll give me an uneasy feeling every time I wake up, but I'll just kind of try to ignore it as I attempt to fall back asleep.
Attempt being the key word in there.
Yeah.
Alright, who did I miss?
Right here.
Silas. Why do I always miss you?
Yeah.
Well, anyway, nothing really happens with your sleep. You just pass out.
That and wake up later.
And that's where we'll end tonight's session. I was going to thank you, all those who would actually take time to listen to the casting on Corey's channel. Thank you for listening and thank you for showing your support. If you did. If you didn't, oh well, there's nothing really I can do.
Alright.